Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Hello, welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Everyone's ready to go.
That's what I thought.
Shannon's ready.
That's what I thought.
Skip, what do you think?
That's what I thought.
Skip, no, this is not what you're thinking. I just got back on IG. My IG was down for a whole week, Skip, so I'm coming back. I'm celebrating with some 1942 that DJ, I call him DJ, Don Julio, and this is limited edition Avion. This is 150 bottles of this were ever made. That's all. I'm just celebrating. I'm happy to be back on IG. That's it, Skip. Nothing more, nothing less.
Jenny, I want to point out to our viewers that Shannon Sharpe is celebrating a wrong prediction on the Cowboys-Redskins because he picked my Cowboys to beat the Redskins.
I'm celebrating.
Am I correct about that?
I did pick the Cowboys to beat the Redskins, but that's not what I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating being back on IG. My IG was down for a week, I swear.
Yeah. That's as big a bunch of phony baloney as Al Reveron tweeted after the Cowboy game about the snap.
Jenny.
Yeah.
You and.
Yep.
It's too early, but thank you for the
early.
offer.
Yeah.
A little too
it's
early
way
for
too
me.
early for any of
Stop
that.
it, Skip. You know what? I got something for you. You like a Victor cigar?
No, I don't do that.
You don't want anything?
I don't do any of that.
I'm sorry, Skip. It hurts me. It hurts me that they got missed that field goal. It really did, Skip. It tore me up.
I thought you were getting back in shape. I thought that was the whole
I am
idea.
getting back in shape.
Oh, boy.
With that.
Oh, I got the wood tips, too. Let's go, Jenny.
All right, well, Shannon's ready. I don't know if he's still celebrating the fact that the Eagles lost again. The Patriots did win. That's something good. But you know what? We also had a little spitting going on. Rondo at CP3. We will talk about that later. But we're going to start in D.C. and what we saw between the Redskins and Skip's Cowboys. It was a huge NFC East matchup between the two teams. Let's go right to the fourth quarter when Dak Prescott fumbled. The Redskins scored to go up by 10. Then with under 2 minutes left, Dak scored a touchdown to cut the lead to 3. The Cowboys got the ball back, set up a 47-yard field goal attempt, but a false start was called on the snapper for moving the ball. That pushed it back to 52 yards. Skip's not happy here. Brett Maher hit the upright. The Cowboys are now 3-4. The Redskins are in first place. Let's take a listen to Dak after the loss.
It wasn't our worst performance out there today. It's a lot that we can learn from, we can get better from. And as I said, going into this bye week, that's something we're going to take. We're going to figure out why we're not doing as well on the road as we're doing at home. And we're going to figure out how to put ourselves in the best position to succeed. We've got a great team. We got great guys in that locker room that all support each other. I mean, I've been part of some good teams since I've been playing the game of football. And this team is special. So our heads aren't down, heads up, and we're ready to get better this bye week and move forward in the season.
Skip, what happened to your Cowboys?
What happened?
The more I think about this, the madder I get. So I apologize if I come out of my seat over this. But my Dallas Cowboys got absolutely robbed yesterday in Washington. And I want to point out for the record, I immediately tweeted about this, so you can look at my timeline. So this is not 2020 hindsight or reaching for some lame, far-fetched excuse. Jonathan Allen of the Washington Redskins jumped offsides unprovoked on said first field goal attempt. My long snapper, my field goal snapper, did not illegally move the football in any way, shape, or form. So it should have been a 42-yard field goal, which clearly, if he'd hit it the same way he hit what became a 52-yard field goal, it would have made it around the left upright. But from 10 yards farther, it continued to hook until it caught the left upright. And unfortunately, it didn't carom inside the uprights. It caromed straight out, and I lost 20-17. So after the game, Al Reveron, the NFL's director of officiating, tweeted that illegal ball movement by the center caused the defense to come across in the neutral zone and contact a lineman. Baloney! Nothing but NFL spin control. The Cowboys field goal snapper is named LP LaDussar. He has been with this football team the longest tenured of anyone on the team. He's been with it for 14 years. And over 14 years, he snapped for over 400 field goal attempts. And he said after the game, I did the exact same thing I've been doing for 14 years. He got his grip on the football, and once he came set, Mr. Sharpe, he stayed set. He did not flinch. He did not false snap it and try to push it back and start over again. He did nothing to incite Jonathan Allen to jump across the line of scrimmage. So in the end, I congratulate and commend Tony Dungy last night on NBC. It was as strong as I've ever heard him. He said he looked at the snap dozens of times, and he said, I could see nothing wrong with that. It was a horrible call, and it was. And it cost the Cowboys an overtime that they would have won. And I know this is just my opinion, but they had all the momentum, as you well know, in the fourth quarter, and I think they would have carried that momentum with a made field goal into overtime, and we would be talking about the 4-3 Dallas Cowboys on top of the NFC East. Your turn.
But they're not 4-3. They're 3-4, and they're not atop. And I disagree vehemently.
You do.
I strongly disagree with your assessment of they were robbed. No one play cost their team the game. Haven't you heard that? All these coaches, these great coaches, from Tom Landry to Jimmy Johnson to Don Shula, all the great coaches you've been around. Name the one that said one play cost them the game.
That one play
No,
cost them the game.
no. I ask you a
It
simple
came down to that. That's all I know. One swing of the leg from 42 would be good, 52 missed.
He could have made this a moot point by putting it through the uprights. If he'd have done that, we'd be having a different discussion. So does he have the leg strength to make it from 52? Sure he does, because I'm sure he's made one of those before. He had missed his first field goal attempt in Carolina, and after that he had been, 16 for 16?
And to his credit, he took full blame and said, I should have made it from 52, but go ahead.
Yeah, he should have. I mean, who else was kicking it? Who else you going to blame? Jenny, me? You want to blame me? But I want to go to the bigger issue and what we know to be the problem, but you don't want to address that, Skip Bayless.
I will now.
No, you won't, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to beat you to the punch because you had your opportunity. I wanted you to go first.
Yeah, and I didn't want to take 9 minutes to start the show the way somebody else always does, but go ahead.
Do you want to go talk about?
No,
you know
your
what?
turn.
No.
I gave you the ball.
No.
You better carry it.
No, I want you to go. You know what? I'm feeling
No,
generous
go ahead.
today.
No,
I'm
go
feeling
ahead.
I'm feeling generous
You can
today.
have a little smoke.
I might have you a little sip while I'm over here. You go right ahead, Skip Bayless. I want you to have this. This is your time.
So, my quarterback was a warrior yesterday. He hurt his knee early, then he hurt his left hand as he got concussed, and I'm pretty sure he got concussed, and I have no idea how he passed concussion protocol because he actually was using smelling salts when he ran back onto the field, but they let him play, and he played his tail off. But he did make the one mistake on the road you cannot make, and I'll be the first to admit that he's trying to do too much with too little because he doesn't have receivers who can separate, and he doesn't have a left guard who can block anybody.
Don't do this.
They stick with the rookie Connor Williams out of University of Texas. He is a liability. He is a weak link. And on the play before the disaster play, my man Dak Prescott hit Cole Beasley on 3rd and long for a big first down, and I said, here we go, we are in business. Nope, holding on Connor Williams. They got to get him out of there. And what happens on the next play? Dak drops back all the way to the goal line. He tries to hold the ball, do too much, and he gets stripped, and it's a touchdown. And it's hard to overcome that against a good defense on the road, and they should have anyway. Your turn.
Oh, okay. Now that you see, I love how you do that, Skip Bayless. And this is what I've noticed about you in the years of been dealing with you and following your career as you do this, as you are the Grand Master, the Grand Wizard.
He studies me. I don't study.
But I study you. There's your fatal flaw right there. But anyway, see, what you try to do with Dak Prescott, see, Dak is the guy that will set the house on fire. Almost put the fire out and save the house. He doesn't, but he gives him credit. He started this fire, as you mentioned. He fumbled the scoop and score. He fumbled earlier in the game. 2 turnovers.
Yep.
You told me your guy does not turn the football over. You told me your guy protects the football. Can you tell me what he's doing now at an alarming rate, Skip Bayless? Turning the football over. You told me.
I wouldn't say an alarming rate.
Look, all I know is he had, how many turnovers he had his rookie year?
4.
Oh, and how many he had?
Interceptions. I don't remember the fumble.
How many he had last year? And how many does he have this year? But it's not your turn to talk, so don't answer that question.
Well, you're asking me.
No, I'm not asking you.
I thought it was my turn.
See, the thing is that Dak numbers get skewed by those last 2 drives because at the half, he had 149 total yards, Jenny, And how many points, Skip Bayless? 7. He had how many yards he have in the fourth quarter? This many yards. That's what Dak Prescott had in the third quarter, Skip Bayless.
In the third
4
quarter.
total
I thought you
yards.
said in the fourth
No,
quarter.
third quarter. He had 4. So 153 yards and 7 points in 3 quarters of football. And then when Washington went prevent, now all of a sudden he want to throw, he looked good.
So Washington went prevent in the fourth quarter.
Oh, they
I
didn't?
didn't know that.
They didn't?
No, I didn't see
When they
prevent.
hold on, Skip, baby.
I didn't see out-and-out prevent.
Don't do that, Skip. You did.
I saw them just pull out the stops and unleash Dak Prescott, and you saw what happened. What did he throw for in the fourth? 110?
So why didn't they unleash him in the first 3 quarters? So what? They had him caged up.
They often do on the road. I told you, they always play not to lose.
I keep telling you this, Skip Bayless. Once a team bottled up Zeke Elliott, they forced the ball into Dak Prescott's hand. Now, what we've seen on the road is that he's been unable to deliver time and time again. Now, you keep telling everybody his first 2 years, he had the best road record, tied with Tom Brady. No, he was behind Tom Brady. I think maybe tied with Tom. 12-4. That's what he keeps telling me. 12-4
on the road.
Yeah, on the road. That's good, too.
Second to Tom Brady.
But the thing that we do in sports is that we must update our resume on a weekly basis. And in 2018, if you don't mind, Skip Bayless, because I know they don't have the stats and the great stat people. You have the great Tyler Corn. I have the all-time great Steve Owens. Can you tell the people at home?
You are Steve Owens.
Can you tell the people at home what's Dak's road record this year?
Well, it's 0-4.
0-4.
On the road.
And even as bad as check down Alex work. I mean, here's the guy that's 14 years into the league. The team has 1 timeout. And what does Alex Smith do, Skip Bayless, if you don't mind me asking?
Or do I get to talk?
You can answer the question, then you can talk.
You mean at the end, the last season?
Yes.
You mean on third down?
On third down, what did Alex Smith do?
He took off running.
And what did he do, Skip?
He ran out of bounds.
Why would he do that, Skip?
I don't know. I think he was trying to outrun Sean Lee, the great Sean Lee, who just tracked him down and ran him completely out of bounds.
In that situation, your speed is unimportant. The most important thing is that time ticks off the clock or you make the Cowboys burn their final timeout. And I'm not going to even talk about that horrible possession because I'm looking at this bad clock management. Had the ball on Washington 46 with 52 seconds.
That's what Steve wrote for you.
Yeah, I talk about, because you know what I do? What I do is I write stuff down and then I text it to him right here. I text it to him during the course of the game.
It looks like he typed
Yeah, that thing nice and neat. Woo! But you know what's, and another thing.
What?
Did you notice the Cowboys went for it on 4th down?
Yeah.
I wonder why they would do that. There was a situation about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, in which the owner second-guessed the head coach not going for it on 4th down, Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he wants to be Sean Payton or he wants to be Riverboat Ron Rivera.
Did it work? Did it work? No, it didn't work.
You see what happened? Jerry done talked him into something that he shouldn't have done because he didn't have the conviction. Sean Payton goes for it on 4th down. He has conviction. Riverboat Ron Rivera, he has conviction. Man, if I don't do it, Jerry gonna be upset. If I do it and I don't get it, he's gonna be upset. You better start coaching because at the end of the day, Jerry's not gonna fire himself, Jason Garrett. You better coach for you.
So, speaking of check down Alex Smith, who has the 3rd best record since 2011 of all the quarterbacks in the National Football League? The 3rd best record belongs to Alex Smith, behind Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty great, I would have to say.
Yeah.
And who leads the NFC East right now at 4-2? The Washington Redskins quarterback by Alex Smith.
It won't happen.
What did I keep telling you about Kirk Cousins when he was the Redskins starting quarterback?
Who lead the division in NFC North?
Yeah, but guess what? Against my Cowboys, he went 1-6. He went 0-4 up against Dak. And now somebody has beaten Dak Prescott, and that somebody is Alex Smith. What did he do wrong yesterday? You love Alex Smith.
I do.
Ha-ha. Yeah, what did he do wrong? Nothing wrong. Did he turn the ball over yesterday? No. He went over 2 in the red zone. Who is 4th in the NFL in turnover ratio? The Redskins. And why is that? Because of Alex Smith, the quarterback who does not make mistakes. He might not make a lot of big plays, but he does not make mistakes the way Kirk Cousins will throw it to you when you most need him to.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, who's leading the NFC North?
Well, we'll see how long that lasts. It's because Aaron Rodgers has been stinking it up.
No, don't do that, Skip.
Well, it's true.
The man's been stinking it up. He has 1 interception and about 14 touchdowns. He's stinking it up.
Why aren't they leading the North then? Help me out.
Because once A-Rod get healthy, we're going to be a different ball game. Your guy is healthy. Why isn't the Cowboys?
Speaking of your guy in the Dallas Cowboys, you always have taught me, you being the NFL Hall of Famer that you are, that the Cowboys go as Ezekiel Elliott goes.
Yes.
And he was running in mud yesterday on a dry day in Washington. He was running in mud.
They didn't do a good job blocking, Skip.
He ran 15 times for a grand total of 34 yards. Is that good? That's just barely over 2 yards a carry.
Skip,
15 for 34. He caught 2 balls for 9 yards.
And he dropped a touchdown, too.
Oh.
But that's neither here nor there.
Did hit him.
But here's the thing, Skip. All you do is when you say Zeke Elliott doesn't go anywhere, you make my point. Because when they bottle Zeke up, that's the time for your quarterback to deliver us from evil. He has to bring us home now.
What if I told you about Emmitt Smith in the glory days of the Cowboy dynasty of the 90s? People would put 9 men in the box, and Dallas would just say, here we come. Here we come.
But here's the thing.
Okay, I don't have an offensive line. Mine gets whipped on the road every time. It gets whipped. It got whipped at Carolina, in Seattle, at Houston, and now at Washington.
Did he put Lyle Collins in the guard because he didn't have the feet to play right tackle?
I've been beating the table.
He be holding and choking people on every play. But
wait a second. Do you realize they have Tom Brady's right tackle from last year, Cameron Fleming? He's a Cowboy, and he doesn't play a snap.
There's a reason why they got him, too.
Okay, why don't you put him at right tackle and move Lyle Collins back to left guard? Yes, it would change the world. It would put the Cowboys.
Well, Skip, I'm a little hesitant to, because in practice the coaches get an opportunity to see things that we're not privy to. But there has to be a reason they haven't made that switch.
Maybe they don't see the right thing. Well, seriously, they make mistakes.
Sure they do.
You know why? Because the pride is on the line of the organization. We drafted Connor Williams in the second round. And he's going to turn into something.
And I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you taking shots at the Cowboys receiver. Cole Beasley had 8 targets, caught 7. Alan Hearns had 6 targets, caught 5.
Big drop by Alan Hearns.
Michael Gallup had 5 targets. Had 5 targets, 3 receptions, and a big touchdown.
Did you see that touchdown throw from Dak?
Yeah.
How can a bus driver, a game manager, make a throw like that? It was a deep throw. I don't know what happened. It came out of nowhere. A lightning bolt out of the blue for a touchdown.
If you don't mind me,
and you know what? It looked like a really good deep throw to me. I don't know.
Skip, if you don't mind me asking, who is your brother? What's your brother's name? Rick.
Rick
Bayless, one of the best chefs in the world. Mario Bartelli, Emerald Lagasse, Bobby Flay, Gordon Ramsay. I guarantee you to this day they burnt something. Even the best will do something right every once in a while,
so you just
or
said
wrong.
Dak accidentally burned that?
So no, I'm saying even as great as they are, they might burn something. As bad as Dak has been playing, even he would do something good every once in a while. But we have seen far too little of that. Where we would sell this on a normal occasion in his rookie season, we see that once every other game. Now, you told me last week that the Cowboys were getting ready to launch. They're getting ready to take off. And I told you I was in the control tower. Abort mission, abort mission. But you didn't want to listen to me. So guess what? You're still on the launching pad. You're not going anywhere.
Dak launched yesterday.
No, he didn't. That's 17 points.
He threw for 273 yards. He ran. He was the leading rusher for the Cowboys. He had the long run of the day of 14 yards. He made a run at the goal line that you'll see few running backs make to get the ball in the end zone.
Back,
huh?
Yeah. He had 153 yards passing through 3 quarters. Yet all you want to look at is the final 2 drives.
Well, I'd say the fourth quarter matters.
Okay, it only matters if you pull it out. Did they win? Yes or no? It's a simple yes or no question because at the end of the day, I had to stay up late. I had to come here. I had to tell the chef, I said, look here, Dak is going to be coming in and he's going to be real hungry. I need you to make sure he get a plate of these hot ales. So I had to do this job and then I had to go to my other job. So I didn't get a chance to see him. But I heard he stopped by old Club Shay Shay, had a nice old helping. I served him some of this too, Skip. That and like a big old plate, like 15 of them old hot ales.
I think Zeke needed that.
Nah, Zeke don't need nothing. Leave Zeke out of this. This is not about Zeke. This is about your quarterback giving up scooping scores.
So you asked me, did we win? Yes,
no,
we
you
did.
didn't.
Yes,
you
we
lost.
did. We got robbed.
No, you did
well,
not.
We did. We got
Stop
robbed.
it. I can't believe you would say that.
Okay, I want to pin you down. Was that a penalty or not a penalty?
Yes.
How? Explain.
Al Riveron said he moved the ball, which
he did not move it. He did not move it at all. Once he came set, he stayed set for like 2 seconds. And then, only then, did Jonathan Allen jump off sides. And I'm saying, what? There's no ball movement to precipitate that, to provoke that.
Well, ask yourself this question. Why are you in that situation?
Well, I don't care. You got yourself back in the ball game. You got all the momentum. You were killing them. You were running them off their field in the fourth quarter.
I was taught that one play doesn't cost you the game, Jen. That's what I was taught from a very young age. And I've always been taught to not blame the officials. So I haven't done that in all my years of existence. I don't want to start at the ripe old age of 50. So Skip Bayless, you're going to eat this L today.
Some referee choked.
No, don't do that,
He just
Skip.
choked. He flat out choked and reached for his flag, and he blew it because he couldn't figure out how to process what he had just seen. It was a flat out jump off sides overreaction by a second-year player who was a first-round draft pick, Jonathan Allen.
He had both
See, you
hands
can't
on the
trust
ball.
those Alabama players. You can't trust them.
Oh, you can.
They're going to make big mistakes and big moments, and he made one.
You see Tua? You see Tua on Saturday? Hey, Heisman. Go ahead and say it with me. Heisman. You know it. But Skip Bayless, I
don't know that.
You do know that. I know what. I tell you what I do know.
Kyler Murray on Saturday? Oof.
They done took that edge.
4 touchdowns.
First. Oh, this dude. If he can ever explain. I'm not talking about Alabama. I'm talking about your Cowboys with a losing record, which I foretold. Sharpe here told you what was going to happen. You're not going to make the playoffs. And
We are going to win the NFC East
No,
because it
you're
hasn't
not.
started yet.
Because guess what?
Do you trust the Redskins?
No, I do not.
Thank you.
I tell you who I do trust. Walk it to him.
Oh, well, walk it to him, stunk it up. You want to talk about fourth quarters? That was a stinker.
Hold on. Skip Bayless, you're going to tell me the man stunk it up when he had one incompletion in the fourth quarter. The dude was 30 of 37. Dak on his best day.
We're going to get to this topic in a little bit. I'm going to show you just how badly he stunk up
I
the
know
fourth
what he
quarter.
done, bro. You don't
and
need to
his
tell me about
team
it.
is now 3-4.
What is your team?
As is my team.
Oh, yeah. True.
So I just told you it hasn't started. The two best teams in the East are Dallas and Philly, and it hasn't started. Have they played each other yet? They have not.
Your team is already.
You better get ready.
Your team is already taking an L within the division. Your team has.
Yeah, but
my team has not.
My team has won a division game too.
You took an L too.
Yeah, well, we're good.
So we're going to run through the
It hasn't even started
We got two
yet.
wins. We get 2 wins.
Well, if
against
you're
the
telling me not to trust a team whose running back ran mine off the field yesterday, this old guy named Adrian something Peterson, have you heard of that guy?
yeah.
Some guy named, who's that guy?
AP.
Yeah, AP.
Had a
I
good
forget
one.
who he was.
Running hard against your team.
He ran for 99 yards. Zeke ran nowhere fast. He ran nowhere fast. And you keep saying it's all about Zeke. But my team should have won because Dak is a playmaker.
I can
and
tell.
took the game over in the fourth quarter. I can tell.
He made a couple of plays.
No,
but I'm
he made
talking,
a bunch of
What
plays.
are we going to do about that? 149 yards passing and 7 points through 3 quarters of football.
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but there are 4 quarters in a football game.
Yeah.
And the fourth is often the most important.
Well, I'll be
quarter.
watching Pat Mahomes, and they don't really need what he needs to do in the fourth quarter. I'm watching him. Do you watch him, Skip Bayless? Oh, my goodness.
Well, he's on the second best team in the AFC, and that's okay.
And they'll
That's
walk
pretty
it to
good.
him.
Yeah.
Look at him walk it to him. Another 2 touchdowns, no INT.
Really? 3
Yeah.
and 4. You proud of that?
What is Dak's record?
Huh? 3 and 4.
Okay, then.
But
It's
Dak
the
got
same.
robbed. Carson Wentz
I
did not get
tell you
robbed.
what you do. Give walk it to him, Ezekiel Elliott, and let's see if they would have been 3 and 4.
Yeah, give Dak those Philly receivers. Give him Zach Ertz. That's all I need is Zach Ertz, and I'm good to go.
No.
I am good to go.
No.
Yeah.
You got Michael Gallup. No, you wanted Rico. Oh, Rico Gallup, he's 6'6", red zone target.
Yeah. That's all I got.
I'm sorry
Zach
you have
Ertz,
to.
best tight end in football.
No, stop it.
Yeah. Well, he is.
No, he's not.
He's the best receiving tight end.
What about so? What are we gonna do with Travis Kelce?
He can run after catch.
Did Travis Kelce just retire or something?
No, he can run.
See, so now you're out on Gronk.
I'm out on Gronk. Well, he's hurt.
But we
Banged
know,
up.
Skip. What have we known about Gronk since he's coming to the league? At some point during the
All right.
season,
Well, thank
he's
you.
gonna get me.
I'm with you. I agree. I'll take Zach Ertz. You want to trade him to me?
No.
Okay,
You
thank
got
you.
what you got. Jerry chose.
I got nothing. I got nothing
These
except
two
that.
already want to talk about the Eagles. We will go there next. Are they
can't
in
wait.
big trouble?
I
Different
can't wait.
opinions?
You,
wants to
bet,
share
you
that?
better be
Shannon is
drinking
going to
some
do
of that
this
right
in
now.
the break.
Who wants to share this with me?
No one.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here. More of the Undisputed podcast is on the way, but first I wanted to tell you guys about Quip. One of the most important things we do for our health every day is brushing our teeth, yet most of us don't do it properly. Luckily, there's Quip, a better electric toothbrush backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. What makes Quip the ideal option? Quip toothbrushes use sonic vibrations that are gentle enough for sensitive gums, but even sensitive teeth. They come with a built-in 2-minute timer that pulses every 30 seconds to remind you when it's time to switch sides. It's perfect for me. Plus, for just $5, you can get new brush heads automatically delivered every 3 months, just like the dentist recommends, with a variety of slick colors, including my personal favorite, silver metal. Quip has something for everyone. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/undisputed right now, you get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/undisputed. Now, back to the show and get brushing.
No mercy. The Eagles took a 17-0 lead into the fourth quarter yesterday, but then the Panthers came to life. Cam Newton led Carolina to 3 touchdowns in the fourth to take a 21-17 lead. Philly had a chance to win it at the end, but Carson Wentz was sacked and fumbled to end it. The Eagles have now lost 3 of their last 4. Let's take a listen to what he had to say after the loss.
That's just not a way for us to finish a game. I thought we were moving the ball well, early. Kind of did some things well that we know we're capable of, and then almost just seemed like we let off the gas as an offense and just stopped making plays. Really, offensively, we gotta look hard in the mirror, myself included, and know late in games we gotta be better. Obviously, extremely frustrated about this game, and just praying just to ease my mind and ease my heart going forward.
Okay, Shannon, how much trouble is Philly in?
They're not in any trouble because I still believe they have the best quarterback in this division, and it's not even close.
Really? Not even close?
No, not even close.
What did he do in the fourth quarter?
Carson Wentz was 30 of 37, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns. If you look at what he's done since he's been back, he's 70% completion, 300 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. The problem is his offensive line is getting hit entirely too much. He's sacked another 5 times. He's been sacked 17 times in 5 games, Skip. That's far too many hits. But the real
Don't come to me for sympathy.
the real reason that they're struggling is their inability to run the football. Last year they were 3rd in the league in rushing. This year they're 21st. And when you have a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter, they ran the ball 1 time.
Yeah.
Well, now if you throw the ball incompletion, you stop the clock. If you just run the ball twice, you're going to take a minute and a half off the clock. So they can't run the football. They have the guys, Jay Ajayi got hurt, Garrett Blunt. I believe Detroit overpaid for him. They paid him something like $4 million. That's a lot of money for a guy that's going to split carries. And so now they have very smallish backs. Smallwood, a small back. Sproles, a small back. He's nicked up on his final legs. Clement, he's small, but he's stoutly built. But these guys are not Jay Ajayi, which are power backs. LeGarrette Blunt, which can run through some arm tackles. Also, another thing is that it's easier hunting than it is being the hunted. Their defense, Skip, I think the main reason is that their defense is not even close to what it was last year, considering the roster is very, very similar. If anything, they've kind of upgraded the defensive line so they can go even deeper as far as rotations. But that defense is not even close to what it was. And at some point in time, you can't see last year, Skip, you can use the underdog. We don't get any respect.
Yep.
But when you're the Super Bowl champs and everybody that you play, be at home or on the road, use you as their measuring stick because you are the reigning champs. So now we get an opportunity to see just where we are, just how good we are and how far we've come. You're going to get everybody's best shot. And I think Philly's finding it out the hard way. It's easy to say, oh, yeah, we're going to go back and do this thing again. But it's a lot easier said than done. But I'm not concerned about them because they still have Walker to him, who's the best quarterback in this division. And I believe in him, and I believe in old Dougie P will get this thing.
Oh, Dougie P. Well, he's going for broke, right? He's fearless. Right?
Fearless.
He's 3-4 fearless. And, of course, they're having so much fun. They have a lot more fun than the Patriots.
We're not talking about that, Skip.
So the Patriots are 5-2 and they're 3-4. I wonder who's having more fun right now, Eagles or Patriots? I'm going to guess Tom Brady and company are having more fun, right?
Yes.
Everything you just detailed beautifully, deeply, analytically suggested that the Eagles are in trouble. Offensive line, no run game, defense is just broken down. I don't know what's wrong with the defense. I want people to understand that yesterday at home in Philadelphia, the defending champs gave up 21 unanswered fourth quarter points and lost 21-17. I want everybody to that's outrageously wrong. That does not bode well for the near future. And while I'm at that, Do you realize the Eagles have by far the toughest remaining schedule? Because I'm going to point out to everybody, given everything you just said on the negative side, they still haven't played the Cowboys. So they got 2 Cowboys games. They got 2 Redskins games.
2 wins.
They have to go to the Saints. They have to go to the Rams. And they get the Texans at home. And very quietly, I don't know if you guys noticed, the Texans have won 4 in a row. And they're back to being Deshaun Watson's team. And they are not a pushover now. That will be no joke at Philly when they visit.
You know that division isn't very good, correct? AFC South.
Oh, AFC South.
Yeah,
okay. But what I'm saying, the NFC is still up for grabs, and who has the best defense by far in the division? By far, not even close. Dallas Cowboys do. Will that not bode well for the near future? It probably will, because Cowboys get a bye week, they get to heal up a little bit, and then they're going to take off.
But here's the thing. They might have the best defense statistically. They don't let you score. They're good against pass. They put pressure on your quarterback. But what don't they do? They don't take it away. They don't produce points.
Well, thank you for bringing that up and opening that door for me, because right now the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, are -4 in turnover ratio. That's tied for 26th in the National Football League. Is that good, Dougie P?
No.
I don't think that's
What are
very
the Cowboys?
good. They're -2, so -2 to -4.
So they're in the 20s too. Okay.
Well, Washington is +6, which is tied for 4th overall, which is pretty great.
We're not talking about them. We're talking about your team.
I'm just showing you how much trouble the Eagles are in right now. So what happened in the fourth quarter to Carson, W-I-N-C-E, Wentz, as in, ooh. When I watch him, I wince because I see deer in headlights. I saw possession punt. I saw possession punt with 2:28 left. And then they get the ball back, and here they go, and they're on a drive, and he gets a big pass interference on Alshon. Because he's got some big-time receivers that he can throw to. And all of a sudden, it looks like they're going to go in for the winning score. But on 3rd down, he throws one, if we could see it, over the middle, and he throws wild high. I mean, it was like, woo, I winced at that throw. And Eric Reid, the great Eric Reid, he scooped it right up off the carpet, and he catches this ball.
No, he did. The ball hit the ground.
It did not hit the ground.
Yes, it did.
This is as clean a catch as you will ever make. He's got his left hand under the football, and it should have ended the game, and it would have been fitting, because we're going to talk later about Eric Reid's pregame confrontation with Malcolm Jenkins. But see, this is a catch. Ball up. We didn't see the end of it. But the ball, he's got his left hand under the ball, and they review it and reverse it. On the field, it was called a catch.
Yeah, and they overturned it, so they had to have...
That's a catch. That's a catch. He's got his left hand. It never touches the carpet.
They had to have
never touches the carpet.
Refutable evidence to show that he didn't catch it.
I think the NFL didn't want Eric Reid to be the hero of that game.
No, stop it.
That's what I think.
You going too far.
No, I'm not going too far. I think that happened.
But on 3rd down.
Okay, but that was Carson Wentz throwing a pick that should end the game, but they reverse it. And then what happens on 4th down? Julius Peppers, sack, fumble. Can you do that in that situation? We just blasted Dak. You can't do that.
No, you can't.
You can't
but
do that.
But here's the thing. Where his fatal mistake was, his flaw was, on 3rd down, they run cover 2. Now, Kuechly hightails it out of there. He made his mind up at the snap of the ball, I'm throwing this ball to Alshon, when he should have taken the back on the flat on 3rd down and got the 1st down. The back's in the flat, wide open. Watch the back. Okay. He's wide open. Carson Wentz never looks at him.
Okay.
He's wide open, just throwing the ball.
Thank you for making my case. Deer in headlights.
Stop it, Skip Bayless.
No, I'm serious.
Sometimes
I agree with you.
Young quarterbacks determine before the ball is snapped, okay, it looks like I'm going to get this coverage, but it's hard to beat Kuechly. Kuechly is the best middle backer in football. He's going to be where he's supposed to be, hence the 14 tackles. Skip Bayless, a sack. He's as good as they get, so you're not going to catch him out of position. Go ahead, take the back in the flat. You still got a timeout. You got the 1st down. Now you get 4 more cracks at him. They should have never been in this situation to have an incomplete on 4th down, because if you're taking the back in the flat for the 1st down on 3rd down, now we got a whole new ball game. Mistake. He's young. He's still he's only a 3rd-year quarterback.
Oh, so is Dak. Go ahead.
But nobody thinks, with the exception of you, that Dak is better than walking to him.
Well, I'll take the playmaker that is Dak Prescott.
When he making plays?
This is 4th quarter. You got to take the game over. It's yours. It's in your home field, man.
The thing
take
is,
the game over.
Normally, this is what they say. And this is the second time they blew a 14-point lead late in the 3rd quarter to Tennessee on the road. Normally, a defense like the Eagles, you spot them 17, you spot them 14, you win that ball game. That should be enough.
So it was interesting to your point about all of a sudden you are the hunted. It was funny to me that the Panthers then trolled, their social media people trolled. Did you see that?
I did.
But with a bunch of laughing Carolina Panthers with underdog masks on and Cam's in the middle of them just laughing. They're having a good old time.
But that's Skip. That's what comes along with it.
Okay, that's what's going on here. That's what everybody thinks of fearless Dougie P. We're going to get even with the Eagles, and the league is getting even. You know how it works.
Dougie said, look here, I still got that trophy. I got me a book deal. I'm on the New York Times bestseller list.
Good.
Hey,
that's
and
all you got.
When it's all said and done, guess what?
You're waiting until
I'll
next
be
year.
the NFC East champion. You know that, I know that. But I know who
don't
won't.
know that.
First of all, your team won't even make the playoffs.
Oh, well, if my team wins this division, it automatically makes the
But
playoffs.
they're not going to win the division.
Got robbed yesterday.
No, they did. Stop.
And they know it.
Stop using the term robbery because that wasn't the case. Well, who robbed Dak Prescott of that football?
Him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Twice. Turning it over.
And then he righted the wrong.
No, you can't. No, Skip. You can't write that unless you deliver us from evil.
He did.
No, he didn't. You lost.
He did. He had a 42-yard field goal that got robbed into a 52-yard field goal.
Skip.
Well,
I
I like Dallas a lot to win this division. It's just shaping up perfectly. I couldn't believe this team lost. This team's dead in the water right now. Lost its way,
sports.
lost its mystique, lost
Wins,
its edge.
losses. Do or don't.
Yeah.
Did they do or they didn't?
3-4. Both teams are 3-4.
I like
So
my
if you're dismissing Washington, it's between Dallas and Philly, and I'll take Dallas.
It's between Philly and Philly.
Dallas's schedule is much easier than Philly's.
But see, you
Seriously.
go reading that schedule, and I'm sure the Cowboys are doing exactly what you do. They're reading the schedule. Oh, yeah, we got Philly. Philly got the Rams still. They got New Orleans still. Yeah. They're reading it just like you. Watch her walk it to them.
Okay. Yeah, I watched him yesterday, and I didn't see anything.
Did you see what Walker Tua did out there? He gone to the Rams on a torn ACL and a torn LCL through a tub.
That was last year's Rams before they beefed up and went for broke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Rams are legit.
So that's a loss.
OED having them a good old time this
He
morning.
is the Rambassador.
But I know who's not having a good time. The man across from me.
Well, my team's in Washington. I mean,
What you mean your
they
team's in
stayed over it.
For
They
what?
went to the African American history.
Yeah, that's good. I want to go see that. Whoa, no, he should have brought him home. I don't reward. No,
They
Jenny.
voted. They voted.
They have their bye week.
I don't
They have their bye week.
They voted.
Oh,
to stay.
it's their bye. Okay, yeah. Okay, now
bye.
I didn't know it was their bye week
a bye
because I do not reward negative behavior. I do not reward losses.
No.
That's
Send them
not the
home.
way we
They
do it.
wanna go to
Coach
the
Sharpe.
museum. They went.
That would be
They
great.
voted.
I'm going myself. First chance I get.
Good.
Yeah, but I just want Jason Garrett to understand you don't reward negative behavior. You don't reward losses. So it shouldn't have been a vote. You're going home.
Well,
if you want to go
he's just going to clap either way anyway. All he does is clap.
Oh, so Jerry recommended they stay. That was Jerry's decision.
No, he let the players vote on it.
Hey,
They
stop
voted.
it, Skip, baby.
He
You-
did. He did. I'm
So
serious.
this is the time he gonna let the players vote. They can't vote on any other thing,
don't
but they
know.
can vote on this.
Well, maybe that could be true.
Oh,
actually
okay.
true.
Okay.
A whole
I'm just
different
checking.
other discussion for you, Shannon.
No mercy.
I'm sorry about the Cowboys, but hey, the Patriots, that's a bright
Hey.
spot for you,
Hey,
Skip.
thank
So
you.
let's talk about it. They have
Let's.
won 4 straight after Tom Brady's 3-touchdown performance against the Bears. Chicago nearly tied the game on the final play, but their Hail Mary attempt was stopped at the 1-yard line. The Patriots are now 5-2, 1 game behind the Chiefs. In the AFC, Kansas City blew out the Bengals last night behind 4 more touchdown passes from Patrick Mahomes. So, Shannon, who's more likely to win the AFC, the Patriots or the Chiefs?
I'm gonna go with Kansas City, Skip, because I
Okay.
believe this game is gonna come down to home field, and I don't really see them losing another game. Now it's gonna be
You don't
tough.
think they're going to lose any more games?
Well, it's gonna be tough sledding. They might be 4-2, but they have the tiebreaker because New England didn't have the tiebreaker because they would have beaten Kansas City head to head. But I believe it's gonna come down to Kansas City having home field
Okay.
and New England having to go in there for the AFC Championship game. This offense is unbelievable. The motion. Tyreek Hill might be the most well-conditioned athlete because he's in motion for the entire game, Skip. He's running from one side of the field in motion all the way to the other, and he's running his route from one side of the field all the way to the other. And Pat Mahomes, Skip, he's better than advertised. Skip, I didn't see this. I was looking at when I saw them trading up to move in position. You knew they were going to take a quarterback. I thought they were moving up to take Deshaun Watson.
I did
not see this kid. And I was like, you moved up to take this kid? We had him here. We talking. I'm like, man, that squeaky voice. Somebody going to take him in the first round?
Squeaky voice. That's about the only bad thing you can say
Yes.
about him.
The
He's got
only
a
thing.
squeaky voice.
But this dude here, the way he makes plays outside of the pocket, the way he can throw the ball outside of the pocket, the way he got legs, he can run the ball. I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers, but Skip, the way he can make plays outside of the pocket. I was reading the thing on the screen that was talking about quarterbacks throwing outside of the pocket is 33%. He's like 19% higher. He's in the 50s throwing the ball outside of the pocket. And normally you want guys to move out. He has no weakness. They surrounded him with talent. Now Kareem Hunt is starting to run the football with a little bit more conviction. They still have Kelsey. They have Sammy Watkins. Tyreek Hill is a different animal. And defensively, Skip, we're starting to see they're playing a little better. Chris Jones in the middle. They have D Ford on one side. Now, I believe Justin Houston's going to come back in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
So that's more now, I don't know if and when Eric Berry's going to come back. But if he were to, that's going to make them more than formidable.
Yep.
New England's going to be New England, Skip. It took 2 special team touchdowns to beat Mitchell Trubisky. And like I said, the more I watch Mitchell Trubisky, the less I like him.
Me too.
And I think Coach Belichick probably went upstairs this morning to Mr. Kraft's office. He said, I told you about Gronk, didn't I? Your head hard. Eventually, you're going to listen to me. Now, I told you we probably should have moved on from him, and I wanted to. But against my better judgment, I let you in number 12, who I'm trying to move on from him also, I let you guys talk me into it.
Do you think he said we should have also moved on from number 12?
Now, he ain't talking about number 12 right now. He said 87.
Yeah.
Because Coach Belichick knows since he's been there for the most part, at some point in time during the season, as great as Gronk has been, he's going to get nicked. Now, that nick, is it going to be a game or is it going to be multiple games? And Coach Belichick says, like you, hey, Branch Rickey, what would he say, Skip? 1 year before you think you should.
Yep.
And Coach Belichick thought, he said, you know what, Gronk might have another good year. See, Gronk wants to play because a lot of Gronk's money is tied to what? Incentives. If he has more yards than he had last year, if he has more catches, if he has more touchdowns. Well, the only way you can get those type numbers are if you're playing. So a lot of that is Gronk wanting to play when he's not healthy, and he doesn't look like himself when he's out there. But all things being equal, I believe Kansas City, because I think the game is going to probably come down to whomever has home field advantage. And if Kansas City gets it, I believe they're the team that could beat them.
So, hypothetically, if Bill Belichick goes upstairs to talk to Mr. Kraft about, you should have listened to me about Gronk, when that conversation concludes, hypothetically, Robert Kraft then should ask Bill Belichick, can you explain why your defense is so bad and you're supposed to be a defensive genius? Because the Patriots' defense is pitiful.
Yep.
It is pathetic. It is a liability. It made a star yesterday out of Mitchell Trubisky.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Mitchell Trubisky yesterday was
Rushing.
8 of 16 on third down and 1 of 1 on fourth down. Look at the yards in this game. It's a wipeout. It's 400 and what is that? 453 to 381. Are you kidding me? Mitchell Trubisky put up 453. Do you realize the Patriots are 28th in yards allowed, and they have allowed the second most second-half points in the league? This is the genius Bill Belichick that you give 75% of the credit for the New England dynasty. They are getting torched. Do you realize that they almost put Blake Bortles in the Hall of Fame several weeks back, and now he's lost his job?
But you also
realize he threw for 373 against this defense?
But you also have to understand, Skip, is that they don't get a possession on the kick return touchdown by Cordarrelle Patterson. They also don't get a possession on the block punt return for a touchdown. So those would have been possessions that Tom Brady would have had yardage and possibly could have gotten points out of that. So so that factors in to Tom Brady only having the Patriots offense only having 381 total yards and only having 64 plays. I don't think Chicago gets them out twice on 3 and out. So they would have had more plays than what they had. I believe they would have had more yardage than what they had. But at the end of the day, Coach Belichick, they find a way to keep you out of the end zone. And Mitchell Trubisky had an opportunity, Skip. He had a guy wide open for a touchdown. He underthrows him, and the Patriots DB makes a great play because he one-hand intercepts it. He has Burton on the sideline open. He underthrows it, and the DB knocks it down. The more I watch him, Skip, the less I like him. Is he athletic?
He threw 2 balls the Patriots should have caught in the end zone.
Yes,
right?
yes.
2 end zones.
I still don't know what he saw. I still don't know what he saw because Roberts just flat out dropped it. But that's and you think him?
Well, I'm just saying this defense is horrendously bad because what I saw last night, seriously, the Kansas City defense is playing a little better than the Patriots defense.
They are.
That's what's scary. And then Sony Michel, I'm not sure exactly what's going to come of that, but that did not look good.
No.
It just did not look good. So is he gone? What are you down to Kenyon Barner for the back?
And you know what, Skip? I'm watching. I don't know if you noticed this, that the guy that's getting most of the targets is James White.
Well, remember, he's the hero of a Super Bowl comeback.
14.
Right?
Because what they're doing, Skip, is that teams are saying, okay, there's no Gronk. If we double, and he does a great job. The thing that people don't notice about James White is that he's very patient because he knows that Tom Brady is going 1, 2, I'm 3. It does me no good to be open if Tom Brady's not ready to throw me the football. That was one of the things I had to learn, Skip. John Elway was my quarterback. I was beating the guy so quick. He's like, dude, it doesn't do you any good for you to win, and I'm not ready to throw the football. Because by the time I'm ready to throw it, the guy's already made up the ground. So you watch James White on these routes. When he has these option routes, he takes his time. He's setting the guys up. He knows he's going to Edelman. He's probably going to go to Hogan or Josh Gordon, and he's coming to me at the end. And then every time, as soon as he breaks out, ball's there, touchdown. As soon as he breaks in, it's a first down. So James White, he's not Le'Veon or he's not Gurley or Zeke, any of these, Skip. But for what they need and for what they ask him to do, he's phenomenal.
So my takeaway from all this, my bottom line is that Tom Brady will overcome Bill Belichick and get the Patriots back to another Super Bowl. And the reason I'm saying that right now is to the point you made. Just a week ago, just a Sunday night ago, at Foxborough, Tom Brady outgunned the kid. It was 43-40 because Tom Brady threw for 182 just in the fourth quarter alone. So because of that win, you got one leg up there, and New England gets to play in the AFC East. And I believe New England will sweep the AFC East.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so the other tricky games for New England, they get Green Bay at home. I think they can win that. It'll be tough, but I think they can. They go to Tennessee. Tricky, tough, but I think they can win that. And then they go to Pittsburgh, and we know what's happened a lot of times in Pittsburgh. So that's really it. I mean, could they get on a roll and win out? I guess they could. They'll probably lose 1 or 2 more somewhere along the way. But Kansas City is 6-1 right now, but these are home games, but they got to play the Rams, Baltimore, and your Chargers all at Kansas City. Okay? Are they going to lose 1 or 2 of those games? They might lose one of them. And if they do, and Brady wins out,
and the thing, what we saw yesterday, Skip, is that we saw the Patriots turn the football over. They don't really normally turn the ball over. I mean, Patterson had the ball knocked out his hand on the kick return, and the guy has a first. Well, the guy should have picked it clean the first time. It should have been a pick 6. But anyway, Devlin ends up catching the ball. He punches it out.
That was the only bad choice that Tom made yesterday because he had a rusher come right in his face, and he said, "I'm just going to flip it sideways to my fullback." And it was a bad idea. And I agree with you. It should have been intercepted the first time, and it got tipped into an interception. But beside that, they still won the game. Brady was still Tom Brady, and I think he will continue to be that because Josh Gordon continues to emerge as maybe it's his favorite downfield target. I don't think Josh Gordon can run the way he used to run.
You saw that, but he got a piano on his
loose, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I saw that too, Skip.
Can you run?
Yeah, I said.
Can you run? Or was he a little nervous about some contact?
Yeah, legs got real heavy, Skip. I was like, man, shaky. Josh Gordon was faster than that, I thought.
I thought so too. I thought he was gone. Most guys would have been in the end zone like that.
Yeah, I was like, he must know something I don't.
I don't know, something.
But I mean, hey, you know, he's still Tom Brady. He's going to do his thing. But Kansas City, you had to admit, you were impressed with them last night.
Well, it's like a track team because so many of their yards come after catch.
Yes.
Like even Travis Kelce, he takes a little swing route over on the sideline, and he turns it up and gets loose, and he goes 40 yards. Well, how can you stop that?
You can't.
You just can't.
Yeah,
and Kareem Hunt takes little flip passes out of the backfield, and he runs 40 yards with you.
And that's the thing. Just get the guys. I mean, Pat Mahomes, 28 of 39, 358, 40. He might be on pace to break Peyton's yardage, that 5,500.
But you know what? A week ago Sunday night, he could not get into your restaurant. He lost to Tom Brady. He could not.
But
Not gonna live that one down, Shannon.
But I know who did get in there yesterday.
Who?
Before he went to the Smithsonian.
Who?
Yeah, you know, the Black History part of the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted lunch.
Oh, yeah.
So I got him a little something. Oh, that.
Nice of you.
You let him
Stay
in.
open.
Yeah, I let him in.
That's really nice.
Them hot L's.
All right. Well, it was a wild night at Staples on Saturday. Yeah, and the NBA season just started. There were punches. There was spitting. Yes, I said spitting. We will tell you about it next.
No mercy.
So LeBron made his home debut Saturday against the Rockets, but his night was not the top story. Brandon Ingram, Rajon Rondo, and Chris Paul were all suspended for their roles in a fourth quarter fight. Ingram got 4 games, Rondo got 3, and CP3 got 2. It looked like Rondo spit on Paul, causing CP3 to put his finger in Rondo's face. Then Ingram flew in, threw a punch, and by the way, yeah, the Lakers lost. Shannon, did the NBA get these suspensions right?
No. And I'm going to disagree with the NBA for a different reason. I thought Brandon Ingram should have got at least 8 games.
Wow.
Because this is what the NBA is trying to deter, Skip. You remember these same 2 teams many, many years ago in the 70s with Rudy Tomjanovich and Kermit Washington. It almost ended Rudy Tomjanovich's life.
I covered the game.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Yeah. They don't want guys coming in throwing one-hitter quitters because that's when somebody can really, really get hurt. So I thought he should have, because he started the whole thing. He pushed James Harden for no reason. I don't get why he pushed James Harden to start the whole situation.
There'd been trash talk.
Yeah, okay, I get all that, but then he pushed him. Okay. Rondo, there's no love lost between Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo. For whatever reason, it goes back to Rondo saying, you're never going to win a championship, you're a bum, blah, blah, blah. Chris Paul said, yeah, it's easy to talk when you play with KG and Paul Pierce and Ray. Okay, all that. Chris Paul should have got, Chris Paul, if I'm Chris Paul, I'm going to get 20 games. Skip Bayless, my grandfather told me, my grandfather died when I was 8. So he told me this, I had to be 6 or 7. He said, boy, the most humiliating thing you can do to someone is spit on them. He said, son, you spit on.
Totally agree.
He said, you spit on the ground. People pee and poop on the ground.
Yep.
If someone spits on you,
It's the
they're
worst.
telling you you're worse than the ground. They think that little of you.
Correct.
Chris Paul didn't want smoke because he mushed him in his face. He's supposed to unload on Rajon Rondo. Give him all the jaw work. He's not a dentist, but Rajon Rondo is not going to even need a mouthpiece for the next 3 or 4 days. Because I'm getting all that grill work. You spit on it. So Chris Paul should have got.
He didn't spit on him, but he spit at him.
Yeah, but he was slick with it, Jim. You see, he had his mouthpiece. Yeah.
So disrespectful. Yeah.
Lord, please don't let somebody do it. So Chris Paul should have got 20 because I'd have still been whipping him. Rondo.
You mean Rondo should have got?
No. Chris Paul, because Chris Paul should have unloaded on him. He should have made it.
He should have gotten 20 because he should have.
Yeah. He should have still been. And I'd have had to shoot Bron a quick elbow. Bron, let me go. I know we cool, but let me go. You didn't see what this dude did to me. But anyway, and Rondo, I got to get, because Rondo escalated this. Rondo got to get at the bare minimum 5 to 6 games here. Because he started, man, you can't spit on somebody. Skip! This man spit in this man's face, and I know he was slick with it. It wasn't like he did it like, but he did it. And Chris Paul, because I'm thinking, I see them come together. It had been brewing, Skip. Rondo tried to draw a charge. Chris Paul runs over him. Rondo hops up. He's talking. Okay. Chris Paul comes in, gets a rebound. He boots Rondo out the way. And then right before the half, Chris Paul gets a layup, and Chris Paul flexes. I was like, oh, but this thing. And then when they come together, I'm like, man, what's. And then all of a sudden they start swinging. I'm like, hold on. Why are they swinging? And he says but you couldn't see it, because unless they slow it down and you get in real close, that's the way you could see it. And then once I saw it, oh yeah, Chris Paul, you supposed to get all that smoke. Oh, Rajon Rondo had that. Oh man, he'd had to get all this.
But real quick point, at the end of their trading punches, I thought Chris got him one good uppercut, and he drew blood on it.
Yeah.
He did draw blood. He got him right up in the mouth.
Ooh, no.
Rondo walked off the floor with the towel on his mouth, so he got him once.
But see, the thing is, Skip Bayless, when you're that close, and he spit on me.
No, I know, but he's the president of the Players Association. He knows.
Yeah.
He's been around. He knows you can't throw. So he's just trying to poke him.
And guess what? I'm the president. Now I'm the president of the ass-whipping competition.
Well,
Because that's what Rondo's about to get
I'm
from
with
me.
you, but I thought Chris Paul exercised some self-control not to just unload on him.
Yeah, but Skip, sometimes, and I hadn't read that manual yet, where somebody can spit in my face and it's okay to see. I ain't get to that's what Jesus did that. See, he way more man I can be, Skip. Cause you spit on me, Skip, I got to have you. We got to go. We got to do all this. You want this smoke? Okay, you about to get it. It's about to be a barbecue because it's gonna be smoke up in here. We're gonna move some furniture.
Remember J.J. Stokes and Bill Romanowski on a Monday night?
Skip, that Romo was my teammate, and I wanted to fight him.
And he spit right in his face.
In his mouth. Yeah. He took his mouthpiece out, and that's what got me so upset. I'm like, Romo, do you understand what that means?
That was a turning point for your football team.
It was, and we had to come to Jesus meeting. We had to come to Jesus meeting.
That's your second Jesus reference in this topic. Maybe you're getting religion. I don't know.
Yeah. He was in there that day. He was in there. Jesus came by there. He said, I got to come by here because
I know.
Whew.
But you did sort it out.
We did.
And your team did take off.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
And you finished the year by doing what?
Winning the Super Bowl.
Thank you. Okay. But that was the flashpoint.
Oh, you said the Lakers going to win the championship?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
It's like, wait.
So I'm with you and then some on this. I thought Brandon Ingram would get 10 games, and I thought Rondo would also get 10 games, and I didn't want Chris Paul to get more than one game because he was the recipient of the spit, right?
Yes.
He was the victim of
Absolutely.
this. And I thought he did exercise some self-control not to throw immediately. Then once Rondo threw with his left, then they got into it.
Right.
You got to defend yourself, as
Correct.
D'Antonio said last night. You just got to defend.
Correct.
Okay? So I was so disappointed in Adam Silver because he's going the opposite of what David Stern used to do. Because remember, Malice at the Palace, the brawl at the Palace, that was featuring, obviously, our man Meta. What is he now? He's back to being Ron Artest. So that was Ron Artest against fans, and our man Steven Jackson was against fans.
Yes.
And it was an eyesore for the league, and penalties were levied and suspensions. And then 2 years later, this is the last time I can remember any real punches being thrown in an NBA game. It was December 16th of 2006, and it was at Madison Square Garden, and it was a blowout, Nuggets blowing out Isaiah Thomas's Knicks. I'm talking about the old Hall of Fame Isaiah Thomas. And it got ugly at the end because George Karl left his starters in, including Melo, and it got out of control, and there was a hard foul on J.R. Smith, and punches were thrown. And for those punches, David Stern came down and said no more. And he suspended Carmelo for 15 games, and J.R. and Nate Robinson, who got into it and traded punches, for 10 games each. Well, this is national TV, Saturday night, LeBron's Hollywood debut, show of shows, fourth quarter, close game, and that breaks out. And remember, Kiki Vandeweghe, the czar of punishment, he's sitting right there pretty much courtside, right?
Yeah.
So he actually witnessed it and felt the full force of it. I know a lot of Laker fans were just invigorated by it because it was exciting for all the wrong reasons.
Because you can hear Chris Paul saying, he spit on me, and I thought, you just saying that because that man, you mushed that man in the face, and the man responded. So Skip, I'm thinking, Chris, I said, man, you lying, I ain't seen no, but like I said, until they get the free, you get up close, you can see, ooh.
Okay? So to me, and I've never said a negative word about Adam Silver until this moment, because I think he's been really good for the league and made some tough early decisions about the ownership of the Clippers, Donald Sterling. And yet, it feels like he's trying to sweep this under the rug, like, that didn't really happen. It's not that big a deal. Let's just go on. Let's just do a couple of games here, 4 games of 3, 2, no big deal. Let's go on and hope that everybody quickly forgets about it. That's not forgettable. And the message you're sending to today's players, if you have to throw down, go ahead and throw down because you'll get away with it because the worst you're going to get is 4 games. And last thing on Brandon Ingram, I was there when Kermit Washington got a full head of steam, and caught Rudy Tomjanovich right in the jaw, full speed. And listen, Kermit was an enforcer. He
Yes,
almost
he was.
killed him. I was working for the LA Times. They sent me to Centinela Hospital to be on quote-unquote death watch. That's how bad it was because it looked like he had died. Really?
Yeah.
Well, Brandon Ingram got a full head of steam and just jumps in the pile and just unleashes on whoever.
When he turns, he sees Rudy coming. Rudy's coming to break it up. Rudy's not coming to get into it. And then Kermit,
Rudy who?
Rudy Tomjanovich.
Oh, in that one.
Yeah. That's
No, in that one it was
And you remember
terrible. He was
Kareem.
just like an innocent bystander.
You remember when Kurt Benson elbowed Kareem in the gut, and Kareem, he doubled up, and then he came back and he broke his head, but he knocked
He did.
Benson.
No.
Knocked him. I think he almost knocked him out. He broke his jaw or something.
Well, those were the bad old days, and it's just a bad look for a great league.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
And I know
they don't want this.
And I know the optics of LeBron James with his arm around Chris Paul, but I think I would have handled it a lot like LeBron. Let's just say I'm back at the Broncos, and Ray gets into it. I'm gonna go grab Ray because I can talk to Ray. I know Ray, and Ray is gonna he's gonna hear my voice.
Sure.
I'm like, Shug, we good, we got this. So he's trying to de-escalate the situation, and I know it's hard because the thing is when you grab one person and then someone gets a cheap shot in, now that person that got hit, he gonna be mad at you because you grabbed him. So I prefer everybody grab somebody, but I'm probably more likely to grab the person that I know that I can provide some calmness to and try to de-escalate this situation as quick as possible.
Well, it's amazing. It was LeBron's night. He's center stage, and then all this breaks out, and he's not even really remotely involved.
We didn't talk about the game.
No.
We talk about the couple of minutes that happened within the game. But we'll get to him. I mean, Bron.
We didn't talk about the fact that LeBron is 1 for 11 from 3 in 2 games.
Okay,
1 for
okay.
11?
We're not talking about it. Why you bringing it up?
He's gonna get it
Why
in,
you bringing
Shannon.
up all
Oh,
stuff?
I was just making your point.
No, we don't need to make no point.
We're not even talking
We're
about
not
that.
making no point. But we'll make a point tomorrow night. I mean, tomorrow when they bust the Spurs head.
Well, they will bust their head. The Spurs are terrible.
Well,
Spurs got blown out at Portland.
Jen, I don't know if you noticed that. But on Kawhi, showed enough looking good up in Toronto and Skip.
Oh,
Skip, you watch showed up what he did to the
No,
Celtics.
no, wait a second. You missed the point.
What?
He begged off the back-to-back. He didn't play the back-to-back.
He don't need to.
I told you. I warned you.
After what he did to the
He's
Celtics, he don't
still
need to play.
hurt. He's still hurt.
No,
He's still got a thigh bruise.
Hey, take off.
He can't play back-to-back.
Not
Are
yet.
you kidding?
There's gonna be a time
And they're
he
chanting MVP for a guy who couldn't play an early season back-to-back.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. He don't need to play back-to-back just yet. We're going to build that thing, build that stamina
so
up.
now you're on the Toronto
Kawhi.
bandwagon.
Kawhi. He look good. He look good. I kind of like him in the North.
LeBron should win this game by 20 tonight.
No, don't do that, Skip.
Come on. No,
Don't
I'm
do
not
that.
doing
Don't-
anything.
don't-
I'm just telling you, it's a 20-point win.
Don't try to put that
It's a
unnecessary.
cakewalk.
Don't try to put that unnecessary.
Well, think of the
pressure.
depth they got because they can start Lonzo and Kuzma now in place of Rondo and Ingram, right?
No.
Yep.
Nope.
Boy, Lonzo looked good the other night.
That, slowly, LeBron told you this is not instant oatmeal. So I thought you think
Not
this thing was
instant.
going to put some warm weather. It's going to be.
Tonight, oatmeal. Tonight.
Plenty for us to talk about tomorrow. But we're going to go back to the Cowboys
Yep.
for now. Dak Prescott, does he deserve any blame for their loss yesterday? Good thing we have James Harrison to weigh in to help us. That's next.
Oh, yeah.
No mercy.
The Cowboys lost a heartbreaker in Washington yesterday. Sorry, Skip, you're going to just relive this one all day.
Good.
All
Let's
day.
do it again. I'm ready.
Good thing, though, we have former Super Bowl champ James Harrison with us. Thank you for being here. We're going to get your take, but first, Shannon, what grade would you give Dak for his performance?
First name is Dakota.
Are you doing that?
It's only natural. What should I give him?
Like D is in dog?
D. D. He had those 2 turnovers. He gave up that scoop and score. He had 7 points and 149 yards at the half. He put up another for good measure to make sure it wasn't a joke. He gave you another 4 yards in the third quarter. What am I supposed to do with 153 yards and 7 points, Skip Bayless? What am I supposed to do with that? He gave Washington, if he doesn't turn the ball over that scoop and score, guess who wins that game? Guess who doesn't need that field goal to tie it? Dallas. They don't need it. Him. He's been inaccurate, Skip. Look, you like all these check downs, these dink and dunks. Michael Gallup had that one big play.
Oh, just sweep that on the way. It didn't really happen.
Whoa,
it was
Skip.
a
Skip.
Just a fluke, aberration.
I'm not going to, first of all,
Mirage.
you see what he tried to do? James, this is what Skip does. Skip is the type of guy he's an arsonist. So he sets the house on fire. Then he rings the alarm, call the fire department, puts on his fireman suits and try to put it out. You started this. That put us in this situation. How am I going to get him credit for almost, he didn't do it, almost getting him out of it? He did it, Skip. He gave up that scoop and score.
A D?
D.
That's just irresponsible.
No.
You must have seen a different game than I saw.
I don't know. Let me ask you a question. Did they win? So
Should have.
That's all. No, see,
Well, the ref stole it.
Well,
I don't know.
I told you know what I told
Ref stole it.
I told
Yeah, did you see the flag at the end?
I told my teacher that.
I had a
He
42.
moved the ball.
He did not move
Yeah,
the
he
ball.
did. Look
he
at the
did
replay.
not.
He moved the ball.
You're wrong. Every center, every
Listen,
snapper.
I'm not going to go as bad as
Hey,
he did and give
okay,
him a
all
D,
right,
but
go
I'm
ahead.
going to give him a C. It was average.
Average.
Game
Average at best. Every quarterback now is averaging at least, what, 270 yards of passing? Dak got 273. The only reason I give him a C is because he did get a drive going to the end that set up a field goal that they ended up missing. But like you said, he had two
big
fumbles.
deal.
One that cost them a good 6 points.
First one didn't
Take away
cost
that
them
6,
any
what
points.
happened?
But it didn't help him either.
What
Did
did
it
it
help
cost him?
One did, though. That's 6 points. Take away the 6, what happened?
He righted the wrong. He set up a 42-yard field goal. They got robbed from them and
They
pushed
didn't
back
get robbed.
to 50
He tried to do the snapper, little move, wiggle, and he got caught.
Now that you have brought that up, the snapper has been with the team for 14 years, and he said after the game, I did exactly what I've always done. And the great Tony Dungy last night on NBC said he watched it dozens of times, and he saw no extraneous movement. He got his grip on the football, and then he got set with it to snap it. And once it became set, it was solid set. It didn't move an inch.
He
tipped it.
Nope. He just
You
got
run
a
that
grip.
back. He tipped it. The
He
next
did
time he
not.
snapped on the one he missed, he didn't tip or nothing. He just shot.
You see this?
Run it.
Once he comes set, then the
Run it.
Washington player jumps. What's his name?
Jump.
Jonathan Allen.
Jump.
Nothing. There's nothing
Wait
going
up,
on.
wait up.
That's just he doesn't remove
on.
it. It's set.
Show it.
It's set.
They cut it. They
It's
clipped
set.
away.
Stop cutting away, trying to make his point right.
No, now it's set. Now he's
Come
set.
on.
Nothing.
Get the whole-
Nothing.
Stop turning away.
Nothing.
Y'all don't play this.
Nothing. The
You're
ball
wrong.
does not move.
You're wrong.
Tony Dungy.
Look at
Is
it.
Tony
You can
Dungy
see it,
wrong?
Skip. I
Yeah.
see why you keep saying Skip. You got to say Skip to make him understand. You're
No,
talking to him. You're like, Skip, listen. You know how?
No, Jonathan Allen jumped when the ball was completely set. He just overreacted and jumped. It's offsides, -5 on Washington. It's a 42-yard field goal, and all of a sudden it turns into a 52-yard field goal. Every center gets a grip on the ball like that and then comes set and
He had
stays
two
set.
hands and he tilted like that.
Guess how many field goals he snapped for? Over 400
The
in
next
his
snap,
career.
he didn't do the tilt. He just
400.
shot it.
God.
If y'all could get
So
that
here's
play
the
on there.
point.
Please.
Dak Prescott yesterday was a flat-out warrior. You call him a bus driver, I call him a playmaker because he played with a bad knee and a hurt hand and a hurt
Everybody
head.
plays hurt.
Yeah,
Thank
oh,
you, Jack.
got it.
Everybody plays
You-
hurt.
you just told
After
me
game
that.
one, everybody's hurt, Skip.
He told me last week that if you're out there on the field, you're healthy. That's what he just told me last week.
Yeah. Who were you making excuses?
Aaron Rodgers
Aaron Rodgers.
with that big old knee brace.
Oh, and then he ran like a 4.240 up the middle of the field for a big first down in the fourth quarter. He's hurt. He's got a knee brace on. So Dak Prescott just kept making play after play after play, and he's got nobody at receiver that you can trust. And his offensive line, every road game, gets its golden tails whipped constantly. They couldn't open a single lane for Zeke Elliott, so you got nothing. You got 15 carries for 34 yards. I'm just saying, you got no, what did you just tell me about Carson Wentz? He's got no running game to lean on, am I right? Well, yesterday, Zeke was running nowhere fast. He was running in mud on a dry day in D.C. And all I know is that every time a third down play needed to be made, Dak Prescott made it. In the fourth quarter, he threw for 120 yards and he ran for 25 more, 3 times for 25. He ran for a TD that most running backs couldn't score on with the degree of difficulty where he got stuck in the backfield. All he did was play valiant football. He played warrior football, and he deserves a B+ for that because I told you. B+ because the only reason he doesn't get an A or an A-. No, I'm not a true fan. He made one huge mistake. But what happened on the play before the big mistake? He throws
It's always somebody else's fault.
All right. He throws a gutsy pass to Cole Beasley that gets them out of jail. And right on time, it's holding on the rookie left guard.
Did he hold?
He is a light. Hold. He tackled.
Okay.
He tackled.
Okay.
He is a liability. He is by far the weakest link, maybe on any offensive line. They have Tom Brady's right tackle from last year on the roster, Cameron Fleming. He should be at right tackle. Lyle Collins should be at left guard, and we wouldn't be having these conversations.
Cam Fleming any good?
Yeah, he's good.
He was there. Hold on, he was there.
Cam Fleming, any good?
Okay.
You went up against him in practice. He's all right. Yeah.
He's all right.
Well, they gave him
So now you running for public office.
I'm just saying, this Tom Brady, he gets rid of the ball in 2.7 seconds. I could be a tackle for Tom Brady.
Well, maybe you could. Maybe
I mean,
you missed your
all you got to
calling.
do is get a hand on
Maybe
somebody.
you should go
Tom
back.
will tell you, hey, man, just get a hand on
Yeah.
him. That's all I need.
Marcus Cannon's hurt. I don't know. Maybe you could. I don't disagree with you. I think that's the quality of offensive lineman that Tom Brady has. But he's the greatest quarterback ever by far. It's not even close. But this guy just plays on guts. That's all he does. He's a gutsy playmaker.
Well, no.
He put them in position to tie the football game. Who had the momentum in the fourth quarter, Mr. Sharpe? Who dominated the fourth quarter? The Dallas Cowboys did. Who would have won the overtime? They had all the momentum. They would have won the overtime. You know it.
James, what grade did you give him?
I gave him a C.
Yeah, well, come on, D.
Passing.
Skip, here's the thing.
D, you gave him an F for last year.
Here's the thing. Okay, you said he threw for 120 yards, right? In the
fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter. 71 of those yards came on the final two drives. So up until then, he had a grand total of 49 yards. Jenny, what am I supposed to do with that?
I mean,
The later, the clutcher.
Get it
That's what
done.
you have to do.
But
with
he
that.
didn't-
The
he-
later, the clutcher.
Skip,
Woo.
if you take the last shot and you don't make it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how clutch he was if he doesn't come up with the win. He didn't deliver us from evil.
So you realize Washington has a really good defense. They're ranked.
If he's who you said he is, he got to pull it through.
Washington 7th in points allowed. That's pretty good. And at home, they're going to be really good. Dallas got the second best defense in points allowed. So they hung right in there. They didn't give up much because Dak gave them the one touchdown.
Exactly.
Okay,
Who
who gave him the touchdown?
But you gave
He
him
gave him a B+.
Okay, what did
He
I
gave him a
just
B+.
what did I just tell you? Once you get in a struggle like that, the quarterback's going to try to make one too many plays. And in that case, you're on your own goal line, you got to protect the football. And he didn't because he's trying to make something happen that's virtually impossible. His degree of difficulty is a 10.
You're making our point for us. In a game where points at a premium, you can ill afford to turn the football over. And what did he do?
He made one big mistake.
That's it. That's all it takes.
That's all.
That's all JR made in game one. He made one big mistake.
And LeBron made the biggest.
You know what, Skip?
Well, he did. Just take the shot. Just take the shot.
Well,
You got a
just
15-foot
hold on
jump
to the
shot.
football. Like Tom in the Super Bowl. Just hold on to the football.
So-
Ball security is everything.
So we're putting Dak in the same sentence with Tom and LeBron? Thank you.
No.
I appreciate
Don't
that.
do that, Skip.
Well, you did it.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
do it.
All I'm saying is that he had the ball. The ball was in his hands. And the next thing I know, they're smelling the deodorant and Washington is celebrating. Why is that? If Dak had the ball.
No, the next thing you know, the yellow flag's flying, and wait a minute, it's a false start? Are you kidding me? That's flat out robbery. That's wrong. It's a
Y'all
wrong
get
call.
That play together. You will see that it was right.
No, it's wrong. You go watch Tony
What did Al
Dungy on
Revron
NBC
say?
last night.
What did Al
I care what
Revron
Tony
say?
says.
Tony
I
ain't no
see the ball.
head of officiating.
He's a spin control doctor. That's what he
Don't
does.
do that, Skip.
He's a spin doctor.
No, he's not.
He said he illegally moved the foot.
He
He did
illegally
not.
moved it.
He did not. What did LP LaDussard say? He's been with him for 14 years. He said, I did exactly the same thing I do on every field goal. And they called it because they got caught flat-footed because Washington jumped. And the ref's just choking. He threw his
No,
flag
he
and he's
didn't.
like, he moved the
Y'all
football.
could please get
Baloney! Baloney! It's all baloney. It was a robbery.
that wasn't a robbery.
Yeah, the league
Legit
hates
call.
Jerry Jones. You know it.
No, the
On
league
the
ain't
next snap, he did not do that same movement.
Yes,
And
Compare the
no, he
two.
didn't.
Oh, please. He does it every time.
Then you snap. You was the wing.
Hey, listen, I snapped one time and it didn't go good.
One
Plus,
and
I had
done?
I had a punter that couldn't jump. He had two blown hamstrings. I'm coming up with
You
excuses.
punt snapped?
I snapped the ball to the punter, but it was a little high. If we had our normal Sepulveda was in there, he'd have jumped up and got it. But this dude had two blown hamstrings.
For the Steelers or in college?
Yeah, for the Steelers.
Why did you wind up?
Somebody, well, our original snap, he blew out his ACL, and they like, can somebody snap? And ain't nobody. I'm like, hell with it, I'll do it.
What year was it? Do you remember?
2000, was it?
Like early?
8, 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we was playing against Dallas, maybe.
Ooh,
And we
trying to
won?
get that video.
No, y'all didn't. Y'all lost.
I snapped in college.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and James Ferrier snapped in college. He's sitting on the sideline after I snapped the ball and it shoot over his head for a safety. He like, man, I snapped in college. I could have did. Well, you should have said something.
Now you tell him you could.
Right.
Oh, thanks for being here, and then you're going to come back later in the show. But next up, what about more blame on Baker Mayfield? Does he deserve the blame for
give him an 8.
another
We're going to give him an 8.
loss? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
So it was another dramatic overtime game for the Browns yesterday in Tampa. Baker Mayfield hit Jarvis Landry for a touchdown in the closing minutes to tie the game. The Browns then went to overtime for the 4th time this season, but they lost on a 59-yard game-winning field goal. Jameis Winston had over 400 total yards in the game, and Baker's Browns dropped to 2, 4, and 1. Those fans just can't catch a break. Shannon, how would you grade Baker's performance?
Skip, I'm going to give him a C because, a lot of young quarterbacks, especially getting down on the road, I think at one point they were down 16-2. And for him to remain composed and to come back into the ball game, he only had 62 yards in the first half. So a lot of what was going on with Cleveland could be tied directly to him. But when I look at this, he had 2 drives in overtime, Skip. Both of them ended in 3 and outs. Now, they've gone to 4 overtimes. Baker's been involved in 3 of those. In 4 of his 6 drives, Jenny, he's been 3 and out on 4 of the 6. Skip, that's not good. The Browns get a takeaway on Tampa's 45. Baker has it 3rd and 3 at the 38-yard line. And what does he do, Skip Bayless? He takes a sack that gets them out of field goal range. You can't do that. That's football 101. Do not take a sack to get us out of field goal range. I'm sure Todd Haley's probably in his ear. No sacks here. No sacks here. Because if we kick the field goal, we're going home victory. Now, that's what Skip told me. Baker Mayfield's in there. They're going to win 9 games. Now, all I know is that he's been in there for like these 4 games. They lost 2 of them, Jenny. That's fact. That's not conjecture. That's not innuendo. That's not speculation. That's fact.
A lot of overtimes.
Why you going to overtime? If he's that guy, why I got to go to overtime if you that guy? If you that dude, Marcellus Wiley, he already coined that phrase. That's his name. But if you that dude, you got to go. Why am I going to overtime? Why are you subjecting me to further injury? Go on and go and put us in, get us on the bus early. C. If you give him anything less than that, Skip, you being a homer because he went to Oklahoma. What you gonna give him?
I cannot see how you could give him a C, because I'm going to give him a B because I'm objective about Baker Mayfield, even though he did play at the University of Oklahoma.
He did play. That's why you gave him a B.
Mr. Sharpe, Hall of Famer that you are, I have some cross-examination
Okay,
here.
sure.
So, what happened in the 4th quarter against the Oakland Raiders at the Raiders? That was, remember, this is only his 4th NFL start for Baker Mayfield, but that was his first start as a rookie quarterback. Number 1 overall pick at Raiders. 4th quarter, what happened in that game? Baker was pretty good, 6 of 11 for 105 yards, and Carlos Hyde got the first down that would have ended the game. It sure looked to me like they did, right?
But they said no. They said no, he did not.
Yeah, but there was another play earlier where they did say they made a mistake on it. So my point is they had 2 chances to close the deal, and they closed it, but it got robbed from them. They got robbed in that game.
Stop
so Baker
played,
he played well enough to win and close the deal at the Raiders.
Did he?
Then the next game, Baltimore. Is Baltimore pretty good? They're pretty good, right?
Yes,
They have the number 1 defense in pro football. Yes, they do, and points allowed. So what happened in overtime of that game, Mr. Sharpe? You conveniently swept that under your little carpet over there on your side. What happened in overtime of that game against the Baltimore Ravens? This is a rookie starting.
He made some plays, and they ended up kicking a game-winning field goal.
Really? He went 4 of 7 for 80 yards, and in that game he had his 2 favorite receivers, Rashard Higgins and Derek Willis, the rookie from Texas Tech, and both of them got hurt. Both of them got hurt, and they are lost. They are gone. So all of a sudden you're down those 2, and you're down Josh Gordon, who was a Cleveland Brown, right? I mean, wouldn't I like to see Baker throwing to Josh Gordon? I would, because Tom Brady's now throwing to Josh Gordon. So Baker was really good in overtime, and they beat Baltimore 12-9.
Yes.
So yesterday in the 4th quarter, which is a big quarter, it's a very important clutch quarter.
They played 3 other ones too, though.
But Baker Mayfield went 6 of 9 for 90 yards, and he ran twice for 35 yards. So that's 125 total yards as they outscored Tampa at Tampa 14-0 in the 4th quarter. Will that work? I'm going to give him a B just for that. And I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. They didn't go anywhere in overtime, but
why
again,
whoa, he got
them.
No, I'm pulling the rug. Here. Pull this rug back. I want everybody to see this dirt. Now, talk about that overtime. Them 2 drives in overtime and the sack that took them out of field goal range.
Yeah. Well, what about the Cleveland Browns defense that I was going to hang my hat on, Greg Williams' defense?
They gave him the ball back, Skip.
Yeah, but they gave up 456 yards again yesterday, and they allowed Jameis to go 7 for 14 on 3rd and 4th down. 7 for 14?
Hold on. This is a
That's
points
not
league.
very good.
This is a points league.
Yeah.
This is a points league. How many points did they give up, Skip? How many points did they give up?
It was 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys had a chance to get to 26 first.
Baker Mayfield got them to 23 all by scoring 14 in the 4th quarter. You got to give him some break for that. That was his 4th NFL start.
I gave him a C.
4th NFL start. He's a raw rookie quarterback.
You know what, Skip Bayless? You can have results or excuses. Now, I used to be in the excuse-making business, Jen, but I had to get out because the overhead. I just couldn't have enough space to keep fitting those excuses in.
Yeah.
What I did is that I found out I really didn't need a storefront. If I deal with results, I didn't need a storefront. So, all right, Skip Bayless, results or excuses?
So, who's played the best of the rookie quarterbacks? Boy, it's Baker by far. He's played much
That is
better than
true.
Sam Darnold has. Thank you, Jenny, for that. And he's played much better than Josh Rosen. I know he got hurt.
Who got the wins?
Josh Allen.
Who got the most wins?
Huh?
Who got the most wins?
I don't know.
You do know.
I don't know.
Oh, he got more wins than Sam Darnold?
Should the game have been over at the Raiders for Baker Mayfield? Should that have been a
Yes.
W? Yes, it should have been.
See,
Well, it should have been.
You want me to
well,
say,
you can't do more than you can do.
Yeah, you can
do
win.
it, and it's over, man.
But what? So he didn't do it.
Missed it.
He didn't do it.
Well,
Okay, what about yesterday? Okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, they get that correct, and they win that one. Let's talk about yesterday.
Yeah,
the
I
Cleveland
did.
Browns
Okay.
defense
I
gives
did.
him the ball at the 45-yard line. It's 3rd and 3 at the 38. Can you explain to me? Give the people the play-by-play.
It was a bad decision. You can't take a sack.
Give me your best Joe Buck. Call it out from here.
No, I'm not.
3rd and 3.
I'm going to call out 4th quarter, 125 total yards from the rookie quarterback at Tampa and outscores Jameis 14-0 in the 4th. That's pretty great. Thank you.
And you
End
know
of
what?
story.
And you know what? Pick up all his little gear and go home because they didn't win. That's all I do,
know.
Skip. That's all I Skip at my restaurant. You know what? I'm thinking about start serving this now with them hot L's or hot doves.
So
would you like a shot of that?
His favorite receiver in his first couple of games was Rashard Higgins. That's his roommate. That's his buddy.
Yeah.
That was his guy.
Skip, you don't get to go in a tank when you start losing players. You still got to perform. Oh, my buddy gone, so I'm not going to be able to do my job. Man, get your butt. Guess what? Rashard Higgins might not be there, but I bet you Baker Mayfield still deposited them checks. Okay, so don't tell me nothing about no Rashard Higgins not there. Wins or losses, excuses or results.
He should have gotten a raise for his 4th quarter yesterday.
You know what, Skip, baby. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
That was impressive, man. That was good.
Okay, you know what?
Spark plugged him, man.
If I give him a raise for the 4th quarter, I'm gonna take a lot of money for that 62 yards he had in the first half, Jen.
Back.
Yeah. So what I'm supposed to do about that? That's even worse than Dak. That's some Prescottian stuff he was doing. Prescottian.
He got him back to 23 all. They were dead in the water.
And he also got him 26-23 because he took a sack, got him out of field goal range, and Big Game Jameis drove him down the field.
Big Game Jameis,
Yep. Kick the field goal. Whoop. Kick the field goal.
I love Jameis, but I don't know. That Browns defense, it doesn't back up Baker at all.
What about Baker backing them up?
Against the Chargers, that defense just quit.
What about Baker? What did Baker do? You know, Baker had a bunch of them interceptions too, not Skip.
Against
See,
the
you got to
Chargers-
stop.
Well, nobody played well against the Chargers.
Okay, well then you didn't say that about Baker. You said the defense didn't back him up. You making it seem like he played well, which he did not play well.
Against the Chargers?
Yeah.
He brought him back a little bit in the 4th quarter.
Brought him back from where?
They just got wiped out.
They did.
Yeah, they gave up, almost 600 yards?
Feeling good about themselves. They had won a game, beat the Ravens. Oh, yeah, we have arrived. Chargers went in there and made light work. Dusted them off real quick. And they stayed the whole week in Cleveland.
Which rookie quarterback would you take right now, Shannon Sharpe?
What do you mean?
Who would you take if you had to start your
Who'd you do it
franchise
again?
from what you've seen? If you had to pick one of them to go forward with, you would take who?
Skip that. That's not a question.
You take the guy you just gave a C to. That's who
Nope.
you would take.
Nope.
Yes, you would.
There's something called self-incrimination. I use my right to the Fifth
plead the
Amendment.
Fifth?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I plead the Fifth, Skip.
Thank you. This conversation is over.
Because that wasn't second. Now, if you want to have a conversation about which rookie quarterback would Shannon Sharpe rather have, we can do that.
Well, I think that's what I asked.
No, that's not a topic. That you just tried. That's like you tell me.
it's
That's an add-on.
Oh, that's.
We don't do add-on. That's not a part of the original contract.
Well, This one's closed. I just closed my case.
Yeah, you did close. Guess what else? But guess what? I stayed open late. Because there's a lot of guys coming in wanting them hot L's.
Yeah.
Dak had like a big old, wanted like a six-pack to go, a hot L. Baker came in and I had to stay open even later for him because his game went to overtime. I said, Baker, come on in, sit on down here. But, hey, what you want?
Give him some advice?
Yeah.
Those Browns fans.
I gave him some advice.
They come so
Don't
close.
listen to Skip, because Skip is flawed in your assessment. Skip got you thinking you playing A football and you're not.
Truth-telling.
No, you're not telling the truth,
Yeah.
Skip.
You're just biased.
You giving guys grades they don't deserve.
A B, he was good yesterday.
You know what? I told my teacher one time, I should have gotten an A. Now give me an A what I should have gotten, because I did well. Because remember the first time, I missed the first 3 answers, but I did good on the back page. I got all them right. She said, no, Shannon, you get what you deserve.
That's not how it works in a test. This is football.
Why not? That's what football is. That's the ultimate test, Skip Bayless.
No, but the end of your test doesn't count more than the first of a test. But football,
Thank you.
fourth quarter counts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. You make my point for me, Skip.
No, I
the fourth
did not.
quarter doesn't count.
The fourth quarter
Did he
counts
win?
in football.
Okay, how about this here?
Yeah.
Did he win or did he lose?
No, the defense needed to hold him.
Well, I mean, you blaming the defense again, so you blaming Dak's defense too, huh?
I was just
No,
gonna
I'm not.
say. Dak,
I'm
you
not.
gave Dak a B+? You gave
Yeah.
Baker a B?
B. Yep.
Okay, well, bit generous, but either way, we
Yeah,
are going
bit,
back
bit.
to the NFC East. We'll discuss that with James Harrison next because we need to go back there.
A bit.
No mercy.
There were some major developments in the NFC East yesterday. The Redskins are still on top of the division at 4-2 after beating Dallas. The loss dropped the Cowboys to 3-4, tied with the Eagles, who blew a 17-point lead in their loss to Carolina. We are joined once again by James Harrison. All right, James, who is the best team in the NFC East right now?
For me, I would have to say it's Washington, just because they are playing more consistent than the other three. The Giants, they aren't in the conversation, of course. Dallas, your team that you love so much, they're too inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get from them.
Okay.
And Philly, I don't think they could deal with having to deal with that. We're the Super Bowl champions, and now it's every team you play, they're going to give you your best shot, because if I beat you, we could have won the Super Bowl.
That's true.
And right now they can't deal with that, and that's what they're getting. So I would have to go with Washington.
I still believe Philly's the best team because I believe they have the best quarterback. And at the end of the day, unless something unforeseen were to happen, the team that normally has the best quarterback, those are the teams that consistently win the division year in and year out. Now, there are outliers. Guy gets hurt, gets nicked, and he's not his normal self. But for the most times, I would say 8 times out of 10, the best quarterback, the team that has the best quarterback, they normally win that division. Eli's a shell of himself. Don't even put them into the equation. I agree with you. The question is Dak and check down Alex. I've seen too much inconsistency from Dak. I haven't seen, and people keep wanting to see Dak from his rookie year. That might come back, that might not. We may never. You may never ever see that again. And unfortunately, that's going to do your heart really, really bad. Now check.
I'm listening. You don't have to get my attention.
You know, check down Alex. Check down Alex. Skip, you know what he's going to do. He's going to check the ball down. And Alex Smith works really well as long as his team has the lead, because he's not going to put the ball in harm's way, because he's not going to take any risk. He's going to take flat routes. He's going to take intermediate throws. But when you get behind and you need to push the ball down the field, that's why it takes the Cowboys so long to get the ball in the end zone, because all they do is dink, dunk, dink, dak, dink, dunk. And now
that bomb to Michael Gallup yesterday, that was dink and dunk.
Oh, you
Yep.
Skip.
It was a bomb. It's beautiful.
One time.
Right on the money.
So he 7 games and he got 2 passes, 40 yards. Wow, okay, wow. So no, I still believe it's the Eagles. I believe check down Alex will check the ball down. Dak, too inconsistent, and Eli, the Giants are an afterthought.
So, I still favor the team with the best defense by far in this division. It's the Dallas Cowboys, who have allowed the second fewest points in the whole National Football League, and their defense just gets better by the game. It's hard to score on Dallas. Washington, to your point, they're pretty good too. They're 7th in points allowed. And the one thing about their quarterback, he does not make mistakes. They do not give the ball away. And the reason they won yesterday, that the real final score was 2-0. 2 turnovers for Dallas, none for Washington.
Who turned the ball over?
Turn the ball over at the back of their goal line.
No.
Scored
Okay.
like that.
So, the team that is in trouble in this division that you will not give into is your Philadelphia Eagles, because Carson's last name is now spelled Wince, because every time I watch him, I wince when I say, ooh, that did not look good. And in the fourth quarter at home, this is a really bad sign. Carolina outscored Philly 21-0. And that means because, see, it is make it, take it sort of. I mean, not make it, take it, where you get the ball back, so you actually get the ball back.
So now.
So guess what Carson Wentz did in the fourth quarter yesterday? He had the ball 3 times, and he threw for a grand total of 29 yards in the fourth quarter. And he went 1 for 4 on third down, and he was sacked twice. And at the end, he lost a sack fumble. And in net yards passing for the fourth quarter, which is including the sacks, Carolina and Cam Newton had 201 yards versus a grand total of 14 for Philadelphia. I don't know how you explain that, Shannon, because that's your guy. That's walk it to him.
Yeah, I still believe in him.
And he was walking it backwards yesterday. He was moonwalking it to him because he was going the wrong direction.
If you don't mind me
and
asking.
guess what? At the end of the game, he actually threw an interception to Eric Reid that should have ended it. It was an interception. He got his hand on the ball. It never even touches the carpet.
Tip of the ball kind of hit the ground.
But he got his hand
I'm a
underneath the ball.
defensive guy, but he got his hand under
the ball.
The tip of that ball hit that side.
But they're not going to let Eric Reid in the game with an interception because we know he's been in trouble.
If you don't mind me asking, Skip Bayless, the Washington had the ball twice into the red zone. And if you remember, like on first down, they ran a bootleg, and check down Alex had 87. I don't know his name. Wide open in the end zone. Can you tell the people at home what happened?
Who got served at your restaurant last night? Alex Smith. He was first in line at your restaurant because he didn't turn the ball over. He missed some plays, he missed some throws, but he did not make mistakes.
But here's the thing. At some point in time, you will fall behind.
Okay.
And you must push the ball down the field.
I agree with you. But what's weird about this division is when you look at points scored, Philly's still hanging in there at 22nd in the NFL in points scored. Then you have to go to 25th for Washington, 26th for Dallas, 27th for the Giants. So the offenses in this division are awful. Yeah. They're in the 20s, all 4 of them in the 20s. But defensively, everybody's pretty good except for the Giants. Yeah. So my point is, I'm going to go with the defense, and I'm going to go with the playmaker at quarterback, Dak Prescott, because this thing hasn't even started yet.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Which defense is going to create points for you? Scooping scores, pick sixes. That we haven't seen that from Dallas yet.
We haven't seen it from anybody, really. Washington's the best right now because they're +4 in turnovers, and that's tied for 6th. They're +6, tied for 4th. They're +6. Dallas is -2. Philly is -4 in turnover ratio. That's not good.
But my guy doesn't turn it over. They might fumble the ball. Somebody might fumble it.
Wait, he turned it over twice at the end of the game. One got
No, that's not a turnover.
Well, it got canceled.
No,
he threw an interception. Did he not throw wild high to Alshon? He threw.
I'm looking at his stats. It says 30 of 37, 310, 4 sacks, 2 touchdowns. I don't see anything in the.
You see a fumble on Wentz's Wince's resume?
Yes, he fumbled the ball. Yes,
he fumbled on 4th and 2. It's the play of the game. You can right the wrong. You can make a play. And all of a sudden you walk away and go eat at the restaurant.
What about that third down fumble that led to a scoop and score? Who did that?
What are you talking about?
In Washington.
We're talking about the Eagles game. Why do you keep changing the conversation? Because you got nothing. He threw for 29 yards. Wait a second.
Dallas.
Speaking of Washington versus the Eagles game, my quarterback threw for 120 yards in the fourth quarter.
Why you keep bringing up the fourth quarter? What did he do all together? It was
but the fourth quarter really mattered.
71 yards came on 2 drives, so 49 yards.
Carson Wentz was 29 yards in the fourth quarter. That's awful. Is that MVP stuff?
But my guy he threw for 310 and 2 touches.
But that was early stuff. That's just like garbage yards early.
Wait a second. Garbage yards early. No, you don't get garbage yards early.
You get garbage yards early.
What was the score of the fourth quarter? 21-0 at Philly. 21. You like that?
No,
you don't like
what
that.
Was Dallas? What did Dallas do in the first 3 quarters? What was that score?
I don't care because they roared back.
10-7. They had 10-7. You like that?
Two good defenses.
Hold on. So are you saying Carolina is trash? Because remember what they did to Dallas?
They did.
Okay, then. That's Luke Kuechly, the best middle linebacker in football.
Dallas has an identity crisis. Home, they're really good. They're 3-0 at home for the first time in the history.
They can't play every game at home, though.
Okay, but they can play 8, and 8 might win this division.
No, it ain't.
It just might.
They just had to.
But I already know. They ain't
go.
got no identity crisis. I know exactly who the Cowboys are.
Well, I know exactly what.
You remember that group?
What the schedules say, and the Eagles have by far the hardest remaining schedule. So your guys are going to be in trouble because they got to play Dallas twice, they got to play Washington twice.
2 wins.
Then they have to go to the Saints,
No.
they have to go to the Rams.
I give them one.
Go to the Saints,
This
go to
week
the
Cowboys.
Rams,
No.
and then they get the
this
Texans.
week Cowboys, yeah. No
They
question.
get the
Sweeping
Texans,
Cowboys.
and the
I give them
Texans
one
have
on
won 4 in a
Redskins,
row.
that's it.
You like the Pretenders,
Trouble
You remember that
awaits.
group, the Pretenders?
Do I?
Cowboys.
Chrissy Hine.
Cowboys.
You've seen them in
The
concert.
Great
haven't you?
Pretenders. No, I ain't. No,
I have.
No.
So thank you for bringing them up. Way to go. Shout out to Chrissy. She is something.
It's a group. Long.
I thought you was just talking about the Cowboys. I ain't know.
Oh, yeah, that's them too.
bad.
They led by,
Pretenders.
who the lead singer? Who the lead singer of the Pretenders at in Dallas, Skip?
They said Dak Prescott was. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah.
All I know is the best defense in the division belongs to my guys. Am I right?
But Skip, you can't take the division to the. You can't take a defense. You have to take a team to the playoffs.
Yeah, but nobody else can score anyway, so we're going to win these division
But
games.
they-
We got robbed yesterday. It's over.
You know what?
That's
You
fact.
might be right. The offenses can't score, but if we count on Dak to give us a touchdown, we win 6-0.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, but maybe he won't. Yeah.
That
Here we
ain't
go.
what- That ain't what the numbers say.
Here we go. I can't wait for these 2 Eagles games.
They got to figure out their road problems,
Ooh,
though.
I agree.
On the road in Philadelphia, Week 10.
But did they not play well on the road?
No. We
Well isn't good
You see,
enough.
he always trying to squeeze. Did they not, Jenny? Did they not play
I
well?
just don't think when you haven't won any on the road, you
Any.
can't really play well at all.
No.
My quarterback threw for 120 in the fourth
Launch.
quarter.
Oh, my team is going to
numbers.
launch.
My quarterback
going
My
ran.
team's going to
why
launch.
you keep going to
I
the
told you
fourth
they bought a
quarter?
bag of duds.
Wow.
They do
My
have the
quarterback
bye,
made
though.
9 first downs in the fourth quarter. That's
How many he make before that?
It doesn't matter because he got in a position to go to overtime.
He had made them
and
all
we would've
before
won
that.
in
They wouldn't have
overtime.
been in position that he had to make 9 of them in the
That-
fourth quarter.
Guess what? They're 3-4, and so is your team. 3-4.
My team's better
And
than your
the team
team.
that you like, 4-2. I got to give him the edge.
Yeah, he
for
set
now.
the house on fire, and then he get the hose and try to put the fire out. Oh, you see what Dak did? You see what Dak?
3-4.
No, he set the house on fire to begin with. He gets no credit for trying to put it out.
I am wincing over here for your
Oh,
quarterback.
that was
Wince.
creative.
What about that?
That was creative.
but-
On that note, James, thank you for being here. We will see you again soon. There was some major bad blood, though, between Eric Reid and Malcolm Jenkins yesterday. Another storyline from that game, and we're going to break it down next.
No mercy.
New Carolina Panther Eric Reid and Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins got into it before yesterday's game and had to be separated. Reid was the first to kneel with Colin Kaepernick back in 2016. Jenkins led a coalition to fight against racial injustice, but Reid left the coalition last year over issues with how the group was being run. After the game, Reid continued to go after Jenkins. Let's take a listen.
He's a sellout.
Why do you say that?
He's a sellout. We believe a lot of players should have stepped up for Colin. I believe Malcolm capitalized on the situation. He co-opted the movement that was started by Colin to get his organization funded. It's cowardly. He sold us out.
I would never get up here and say anything bad about somebody who I know whose intentions were real about helping their community, especially another black man. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But I'm not gonna get up here and say anything negative about that man. I respect him. I'm glad he has a job. I'm glad he's back in the league. Leave it like that.
Shannon, what is your reaction to this?
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed how Eric Reid reacted yesterday. That wasn't the time nor the place for that. Because remember, Colin Kaepernick started the protest. It was peaceful. How is this peaceful? Skip, now you give those ammunition who always thinks black have to be aggressive, that we have to resort to violence. Damn it, Eric Reid, you just got back into it. They ask you, did Ron Rivera knew you was going on the field? No. So now your emotions, what you feel, trumps what everything everybody else has been fighting for. I believe these two guys are fighting for the same thing. They're just going about it in different ways. That doesn't mean he's right. That doesn't mean he's wrong. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's just say I agree with Eric Reid and Malcolm Jenkins. Not that I do, but I'm just saying hypothetically. He sold him out. You can't address this behind closed doors. What did you hope to accomplish? What were you going to get accomplished by approaching him on the field in that situation? You could have handled this so much better behind the scenes. I get it. I believe Colin Kaepernick should have been given the opportunity to fail or succeed at the quarterback position. You can't tell me Nathan Peterman is better than he is. You can't tell me Derek Anderson is better than he is. You can't tell me Blake Bortles is better than he is. But this is where we are. So what? Now Now people say, see, I told you. They fighting amongst themselves. So how am I going to go in with them when they can't even decide what they want to do or how they're going to go about doing it? All it does is feed the stereotypes that we were disorganized from the beginning. It feeds into a stereotype that we're violent, and the protest was peaceful. You say, everybody talking about Colin Kaepernick took a peaceful. Dr. King was nonviolent. Colin Kaepernick, he took a knee. There was no violence. He wasn't bashing out windows. He wasn't flipping cars. It was peaceful. And then Eric Reid does this in public, national television. And again, what did he hope to accomplish? Everything that he said to to Malcolm Jenkins, he could have said on the telephone or could have addressed at a later date and time. This is not the time or the place. Everything can't be about confrontation because you disagree about what they've done. Okay, maybe he did. I don't know, because I've heard arguments on both sides of the equation. I heard people that was in the meeting that's been on both sides of the coalition said that Cap was invited, and Cap said, I prefer to stay in the background. And then I hear some that says Cap was never invited. So, Skip, I don't know who to believe, but I do know this. This wasn't the right time. This wasn't the right place. Remember, Skip, that's what they said about the protest to begin with. This wasn't the time or the place. And so now you want to give them validation by saying, see, I told you. Now y'all out there fighting amongst yourselves when you talk about you know what to do and how to do it. Nah, he wrong with this. And I'm glad Eric Reid is back, but you get back, so 3 games after you get back, 4 games after you get back, and this how you going to react? This how you going to behave? This wasn't the time for it. There's a time and a place for everything. But being confrontational about this issue wasn't the time, and this definitely was not the place.
I disagree with part of your takeaway from this. I admired Eric Reid yesterday for continuing to fight for what he believes in, and he did kneel yesterday during the anthem. I did not like it that he let the emotion then spill into the actual football game, because he was over the edge, out of control for too much of the game and got yanked in the second quarter because of it. And I fear for his place in the league going forward, because you just can't react like this and keep your job.
No.
So he is, again, risking his job for all the right reasons, because he is not through fighting. So what he wanted to do was he wanted to look Malcolm Jenkins in the eye before the game, because it's going to be his only opportunity. And I understand it's maybe a little out of place, but he just wanted to tell him to his face, you sold us out. He didn't want to do it on the phone, and I respect that. And again, if it's early enough before the game, it's okay. Just a quick, then he's so passionate about it. He's so fired. Well, he goes over the edge with it, and finally Torrey Smith, who was part of the coalition, had to come over and sort of restrain him. But I don't think he wanted to fight. He just wanted to fight with words and make it clear to Malcolm Jenkins what he said after the game. And he said it very dispassionately after the game. He was calm, cool, and collected when he delivered that salvo after the game. And he said he capitalized about Malcolm Jenkins. He capitalized on the situation. He co-opted the movement that was started by Colin to get his organization started. And I think he said the word funded. Get it funded, yeah. It was cowardly. He sold us out. And then another quote I saw that came later in the interview, he was about Malcolm Jenkins. He was corrupt from the jump. Boy, that's a strong accusation. But you know what? I don't know exactly what happened, but my instincts are telling me Eric Reid is correct about this, because it did. In the end, it felt like one big sellout to me, because they got the owners to agree to $89 million that would be funneled toward social justice causes, whatever that means. I mean, that's just like gobbledygook to me. And by the way, that's $89 million over 7 years. So you do the math, it's like 12.7 a year. that's just chicken feed.
Right.
You know, that's just chicken feed. And again, the case has been made that those funds had already been allocated to breast cancer awareness and to salute to service, to the military, and that they just sort of rechanneled them into social justice.
If you notice,
so it didn't cost the owners anything new.
Because what they did, Skip, if you notice, there's no breast cancer awareness month. It's called Crucial Catch. So what they've done, instead of saying, okay,
fine.
because that was the argument that the players were using. But here's the thing, Skip. In 2018, a big word that we used was optics. So let's just say the majority of the people don't know the interworkings of how the co-op works. So they don't know behind the scenes of what happened or who did what. What do they see? They see one black man confronting another black man that's supposed to be fighting for the exact same thing. That's what the optics show. So behind the scenes.
But I'm pretty sure they cut Colin out of the coalition. It's still, I don't know the exact truth, but it feels like my optics on that is they cut Colin out of it.
But like I said, you hear, I've heard both sides, and both sides make compelling. Now, and maybe there's some truth in there somewhere. I don't know, and it's hard to say because, you know, like I said, I haven't talked to Colin in a very long time. He sends me articles from here to there, and I text him, good luck on everything moving forward. But Skip, it's just, I still, okay, he went eye to eye and he wanted to look the man in the eye and say, you sold us out and you're profiting off a situation while Colin Kaepernick is still without a job. Okay?
Okay.
He couldn't, isn't there a better way to handle that?
Again, he is dug in, and to his credit, once Eric Reid got signed by the Carolina Panthers, he didn't back off any. I'm not going to drop my suit against the NFL. His is different than Colin's because his is just a grievance as opposed to a lawsuit.
Right.
But he said, I'm not going to drop my grievance.
But isn't he better served being in the league and still taking the knee as opposed to being out? Because, Skip, when he's out of the league, who's talking about Eric Reid?
Well,
he's better served in the league.
Again, to your point going forward, if he winds up pretty soon or sooner than later out of the league, he's not going to get a new big Nike deal to be the face of a movement, right? Colin got his deal, but Eric Reid is going to be out of sight, out of mind at some point. But I still appreciate the guts it took to take that stand. That was a gutsy stand. And then once he got back on the football field and settled down, it would have been a great fitting way to end the game if they had given him the interception that he was given on the field.
That's a good point.
And again, I'm seeing shadows, conspiracy theories, but it feels like it got overturned because they couldn't have that guy in the game against the defending Super Bowl champs in Philadelphia. But whatever, he played well after he got back on the football field, and it helped his cause a little bit. They won. That was big.
But isn't it oxymoronic? What's silent or peaceful about what he did with Malcolm Jenkins?
Okay, but he feels like that they sold out Colin's movement. So and Colin loved it. Colin tweeted quickly.
This can't be about feelings.
Well,
you got to take a feeling and you got to take the emotion. What is the betterment for all of those? The optics look like, again, what people have been saying for the longest. He's playing into a stereotype that we're aggressive, that we're violent, that we don't know how to sit down and have intelligent conversations. You mean to tell me they couldn't talk this out like two grown men behind closed doors? Absolutely. Okay, and guess what? Malcolm wasn't going to convince Eric. Eric wasn't going to convince Malcolm. Okay, we agree to disagree. But publicly, we're going to put on the... Skip, you don't think owners disagree? But what will they do publicly? They will put on a positive face. You don't think Jerry Jones disagrees with some of these owners and they'll argue behind closed doors? But when they come out in front of the cameras, they put on a positive face. Okay, guys, put on the positive face. We're going to disagree. But eventually we're going to get to the solution because I still ain't seen them make I ain't seen anybody meeting with Lindsey Graham or Marco Rubio or the people that's in place to help get what they want to get done. When is that going to happen? Because at the end of the day, that's what this is about.
All I know is that in the end, I'm going to say this one more time. Colin Kaepernick, with a lot of help from Eric Reid, shed light on a crucial development in our country, and that was the killing of so many unarmed black men by white policemen. And it had to stop, and they at least brought focus to it. It was impactful nationally, and I believe Eric, because Colin wasn't alone. Eric was by his side from the very start. And it took guts because they were both risking their careers, and Eric got a little of his back, and he's still risking his career. And I don't know why, in the end, I get your optics, but I just admired the sheer guts it took to stand up yesterday to the man who sold you out and say, you sold us out. Just tell him right to his face, because I love it telling somebody to their face.
I give you a prime example. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Dr. King wanted the same thing as Malcolm X wanted. They're two different. But what if we had a video of Dr. King and Malcolm X arguing with each other in public? They disagree behind the scenes. They disagree with each other how they went about it. Dr. King says peaceful nonviolence. Malcolm X says by any means necessary.
Any means. Yep.
They wanted the same thing. They wanted black people to be treated fairly, equally in America. Dr. King says we're going to gain it through nonviolent, peaceful protest. Malcolm X says, I'm going to get mine one way or another.
I got it. But Eric Reid made a statement yesterday that needed to get made, and he did so very publicly on a big stage. Maybe he cost himself his stage. He might have. I fear for his job going forward after yesterday.
I just believe that he could have handled it a lot better than what he handled it.
Well, I think it was important to get both of your takes on that. It was a record day for Drew Brees and the Saints yesterday. Are they starting to look like a Super Bowl team? I'll tell you next. No mercy. So the Saints' #1 scoring offense took on the Ravens' #1 scoring defense yesterday. Drew Brees added to his Hall of Fame resume with his 500th career touchdown pass. Impressive. He led the Saints from 10 points down in the fourth quarter to win. Justin Tucker had a chance to tie the game at the end, missed his first career extra point. The Saints have won 5 straight, but their next 2 games are against the Vikings and the undefeated Rams. Shannon, what shot do you give the Saints to win the NFC?
Well, considering I picked them to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, I think they have an excellent chance.
Well, do you believe that?
I do, but I think they're the second best team right now in the NFC behind the Rams.
Okay.
The Rams are loaded. Offensively, they have no flaws. And then Aaron Donald's on another planet playing defense right now, Skip. If you see what he did, had 4 sacks going into the game. He left the game with 8 sacks and a bunch of tackles for losses. The Saints' #1 rush defense, but they're 28th in pass defense. So what teams are doing, why would I run the ball when I can just throw it and get whatever I want? And they only have 5 takeaways in 7 games. Skip, that's not going to do it. That's not going to cut it. You have to take the ball away. The thing that makes them so difficult is that Sean Payton is constantly looking for ways to steal extra possessions for Drew Brees. So, Skip, there's a chance that he's going to go for it on 4th down. There's a chance or 2 that he's going to fake a field goal or he'll onside kick you, because the strength of their team is that offense. So I want Drew Brees to have the ball in his hands as many times as possible. Skip, again, yesterday, what was he, 22 of 30, something like that? Only missed 8 throws. He's completing 70+% of his passes. So, I mean, so that's what makes them so difficult, because they still run the ball. Now, don't sleep on them and think they won't run it down your throat either, because Ingram is back, gives them another punch. Kamara is just, he can catch it, he can run it. But their offense is really, really dynamic. Concerns me that their defense hasn't quite caught up yet, but I think they have an excellent chance. But I do believe right now, as we speak, the Rams are the best team in the NFC.
So I also picked the New Orleans Saints to win the NFC, and I loved what I saw from them yesterday, because that was significant, and I believe they can win the NFC off what they did at Baltimore against the #1 ranked defense yesterday.
Right.
Because Drew threw it 30 times. They ran it 39 times. Is that unusual for Sean Payton? It's highly unusual. And what happened? They did go for it a lot on 4th down, but on 3rd and 4th down, they went 10 of 19. So they kept the football away from Flacco, or Fluco as I like to call him, because he was having a field day against that pass defense. But the point was, time of possession was 34 minutes for the Saints to 34 to 26, to 26 minutes for the home team. Well, that's how you win at Baltimore.
Right.
That's how you win on the road. That's how you could win on the road, because it's probable they're going to have to win on the road at L.A. in the playoffs.
That's the way you win when you don't believe your defense is strong enough.
Correct.
So you try to keep your own defense off the field by keeping your offense on the field. And this is why and how you try and steal extra possessions on 4th down. So this is not an abnormal occurrence for the Saints. They're going to go for it. They keep you on your toes because they will go for it, because they want the ball in Brees' hands as many times as possible.
Now, here's my huge concern about the New Orleans Saints going forward. They play the easily toughest schedule left of any contender in the National Football League going forward, if we could show that. As Jenny said, they're at the Vikings,
Yep.
And then they got the Rams at home. Then they go to Cincinnati. They got Philly and Atlanta at home. Then they go to Dallas, go to Tampa. Tampa's no slouch at home. They go to Carolina. Then they get the Steelers and then the Panthers at home to finish. That's hard, man.
Yes.
I mean, those are all losable in their various ways.
They will be battle tested.
Yes, they will.
If they run this gauntlet,
they can get through that.
Yes, they'll be battle tested, and this is what you want because you don't want people looking at who have they really played. Those questions will not be asked.
Wow.
Of the New Orleans Saints.
So they've lost one game to Ryan Fitzpatrick at home, the opener, when he threw a big party on them in New Orleans, and they weren't ready for that, and their pass defense wasn't ready for that.
But I know somebody else was looking good. I don't know if you didn't probably see the game because you were at the game. But OTT, man, I know you do. Skip, do you know when he gonna throw an interception?
What are you talking about?
OTT. Tua Tagovailoa?
Tua.
Where did that come from?
I'm just trying to say.
Threw it in there.
Because people keep asking the question, when are they gonna play somebody?
Oh, well, when are they?
We play somebody every week. We just make them look bad.
I know one team they're going to get to play in the playoffs, Michigan. Then we'll see what happens.
Whew, that was
Am I
a
right,
fun one
Jenny?
last week. They are something
Khaki pants
special
don't
going
want
on,
thing, Nick.
Skip.
Khaki pants don't want
Roll
all that
in
smoke.
two at the end of it, and we got to move on. Will Odell and the Giants win in Atlanta tonight? We will discuss that next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Tonight in Atlanta, the Falcons host the Giants. Both teams desperate for a win. Giants are trying to rebound from that embarrassing home loss to the Eagles last week. Shannon, who wins tonight?
I'm gonna take the Falcons at home. Skip, Eli is not the same. I mean, I'm gonna be nice today because had my fun early in the day. One team, my IG came back on, so I'm very happy about that. So I'm gonna be nice. But Eli hasn't been Eli for an extended period of time, and I believe the Falcons and Matt Ryan with that high-flying offense will have their way. They put up about 35 points, and they win this game going away.
Maybe Jerry Jones got your IG turned off. Is that possible?
Possible.
He can pull those.
Anything's possible. I don't put it past
nothing
past you and Jerry.
So you realize the Atlanta Falcons defense is second worst in the league in points allowed. So surely even Eli can score 20-something points tonight with Odell and Saquon. Remember, you got Odell on the Monday night stage, national TV, so it's going to go one way or the other. He's going to have a big night, or he's going to melt down because one leads to the other.
Oh, but they're going to get that thing to Julio early. He's going to see Julio cooking.
Think so?
Yep.
I still think the Giants can hang in for a while. I think they can score 21 and make some splash plays and lose 30-21.
21 ain't going to come close to beating the Falcons.
Well, again, but for Eli and company, if they can't move the ball against these guys, then they should just
be done.
Call off the rest of the season.
No.
Forfeit.
Because they still got another game they can win on their schedule. I think there's a one game on their schedule they can win.
Yeah.
Yep.
The team that already beat them once.
Yep.
That team.
It happens, Skip.
Hey, if you've got Odell and Saquon, can't you make some yards and get in the end zone some?
And guess what happens when Saquon doesn't do anything spectacular? Odell doesn't jump out the stadium and catch it. It's a fumble or a pick.
Well, I don't know.
Well. Jenny, after this old Jenny, old home team.
We started. We're not going to end that way.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.